All right, pretty busy this weekend. Hopefully, you all had a good weekend. But I've been pretty busy, and I'm ready to start this week off the way we supposed to. So I posted this on my YouTube channel, Afro Elite on YouTube, which you guys need to be subscribed to. If you guys have not been subscribed to that, you guys are missing out. Y'all don't want to do that. Y'all don't want to miss out now, do you? So I posted this before, and I've been kind of monitoring this, but this has kind of gathered a lot of traffic in the last few days or so, where former VP Kamala Harris, she's put out a book called 107 Days. All right. The book was about her 107-day campaign to be the president. All right. This was last year when she was, campaigning to be the president, and she was going against Donald Trump. Now, in this book, there's excerpts from the book where I'm sure it's not entirely, but in this book, she is unapologetic and she throws shots at Biden. She throws shots at Biden's administration, and she throws shots at other Democrats. She throws shots at Gavin Newsom. She throws shots at what's his name? Ben Shapiro, not Ben Shapiro, even though Ben Shapiro deserves shots. Josh, I think his name is what? Josh Shapiro, the other Shapiro. She throws shots at Pete Buttigieg. She throws shots at even her VP pick, Tim Walz. She throws shots at Tim Walz, of all people. So in this book, she's kind of just like spilling the beans, letting it be known, like, what's going on. She feels as if they kind of sabotaged her career, sabotaged any potential chances of her winning, sabotage her campaign. That's how she feels about it. All right. She feels like Biden should have dropped out way before he did. She feels as if Biden sabotaged her even during the debate. And Biden didn't really want her to win. And Biden was kind of doing things to kind of spite her, to kind of make her look bad. That's kind of how she feels about the situation. So I want to have a conversation about this because the midterms are coming up, and this isn't she on NBC tonight? I know tomorrow she's going to be on The View. She might be on MSNBC tonight. I'm not sure of that. But tomorrow, which is going to be Tuesday, which is the 23rd, she's supposed to be making an appearance on The View where they're going to be talking about the book and talking about excerpts from the book. Now, I find very interesting is that during the campaign, this energy was not present at all. This energy was not present whatsoever. Let her tell it. The Biden administration was doing a phenomenal job. The Biden administration couldn't do anything wrong, and she was working perfectly well with them. Okay. I remember them saying that Biden's age wasn't a problem, only for her to say in this book, which she releases a year after the election, to say Biden's age was a problem, which we all knew. So it's a lot of things in there, and I want to get what the community has to say about to say about the situation. Okay, now I'm gonna say this. I feel like this is a bit of her telling the truth. I do feel like some of the stuff she is saying is true, and I've said this on YouTube even during the election. This was before the election was over. I said during the election, I felt like Biden was sabotaging her campaign. I put that on YouTube, which is why y'all need to be following on YouTube. I put on YouTube, on the record, I said that I felt like Biden didn't really want her to win. Okay. I said I felt like Biden was angry at the Democratic Party. He was angry at the Democratic Party. He wanted to run again. And the Democratic Party, which was really Nancy Pelosi, really ran it. Obama had a factor to play in it. They formed the coup against Joe Biden to get him to exit the race after that horrific debate. Okay. So he was kind of forced to exit, and I think he endorsed her in spite of them, because I don't think they really wanted to run on her. I think they wanted to have an open primary. And he did that to spite her, to spite the Democratic Party. That's what I believe, and I said this on record. Okay. I also So I do think he was doing that. I think there was a lot of decisions he was making during the 104 7 days to mess up the Democrats' name. I think his disaster relief as far as the Carolinas when they had that natural disaster, I think that what the flood or hurricane and him not sending any relief at all, I think he did that on purpose to make the Democrats look bad. I think he did a lot of stuff to make the Democrats look bad. I think that Biden wanted to sink the ship. I think he wanted to go down with the ship. That's what I believe. Okay, so I do think that there is a lot of truth to that. He didn't really want them to win. It was like, if it ain't gonna be me, it's not gonna be anybody. I think Biden was on that type of time. I also will say that Kamala is not taking any accountability whatsoever for her horrific campaign. Her campaign was horrific, and it was her fault. Okay, she didn't want to come out doing any interviews. She was all of these scripted talking points. She didn't want to take any hard questions. She was doing well in the polls before people recognized where she stood on certain issues, her stances on certain issues, her backtracking, and then her switching stuff up without any explanation, her wanting to do a whole bunch of photo ops without having any hard questions, her background as well too, her saying no as far as reparations, and then her being kind of vague when it came to reparations for foundational Black Americans during her campaign. That was all her. That was not Biden. That was not Biden. So even though I will say that I do think that Biden messed that up for her, I'm not going to sit up there and give her a pass. I say, if I'm wrong, you can come up and we can have a conversation. I'm not going to give her a pass. She ran a horrific campaign. She had more funding than her opponent, Donald Trump. She had more funding than she broke records with the amount of funding she had. Okay. So she had all the funding. She had ads. She had celebrity endorsements. She had all of that. Okay. She had all of that. And she ran that into the ground and then ran into debt. Okay. So in 107 days, she had $1 billion in donations for her campaign and then ran into debt somehow, some way. Okay. So we're not going to take any accountability away from her. So I think two people can be blamed. And this goes to reflect on the party. I think this goes to reflect on the dysfunction and the poor leadership of the Democratic Party. And I want us to have a conversation about that. A lot of people in here. I hope everybody tapped the screen. Yeah, let's get if y'all disagree with anything that you hear, anything that I've said, y'all can come up. Y'all can come up and y'all can as long as it's respectfully voice your disagreements, agreements, and we'll have a conversation about it. And we might agree to disagree. Who knows? All right. But Zizi, what would you like to open up with or start saying?
I'm actually a little surprised by this topic. I wasn't expecting this one. Give me a bump. Y'all feel like I'm grounded. But I wasn't expecting this one for sure. So I'm kind of curious how this goes. But I haven't read her book. I've seen a couple things about it. It doesn't surprise me that Biden was trying to jump ship or go down with the ship and was setting her up for failure. It also doesn't surprise me that she was not holding herself accountable because she did. A lot of that does follow her. I mean, of course, the Democrats, they failed. They failed her, but also she failed her damn self. So I don't really have any sympathy for her, but that does not surprise me. I do find this interesting. Let me just ask, is this because what's going on with the thing with Charlie Kirk? Is this related? Is that why you wanted to do this?
Mm-hmm. No, I've been seeing this for a while. I've actually wanted to talk about this for a little bit.
Okay, because I've been seeing a couple people kind of relate the two as well. So I was just wondering if that
I will on YouTube tonight, but not right now. I want to have a conversation on this just to see kind of what the community feels about this subject.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm curious too.
I haven't read a book. Into some other topics that I want to have this week.
Okay. Well, yeah, outrageous, everything between. Yeah, Kamala was never going to get elected. She didn't do enough for for her campaign. They didn't do enough for her campaign. Biden didn't do enough as president. which kind of set the Democrats up in general. So yeah, I mean, I didn't think about it in that way. Them trying to, kind of fall into this play of up in the right and kind of, fumbling the bag for the left. So I mean, maybe this is all in the grand scheme of things a part, and it probably is some sort of bigger plan. But yeah, I'm curious to see what everybody got to say about it. I haven't read her book, so I'm not gonna say too much.
Okay. All right then. All right. Let's see. She got defeated by racism. Well, I don't think so. I think she got defeated by herself. If you want to come up, if you disagree, you can come up and you can disagree, and we'll find out. We'll have a conversation about it. Okay. Because the way it is, let's be honest, she beat herself. All right.
So I think
Let's
Kamala.
get to, hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. We're gonna get to, Yatu Syllables. Yatu Syllables. I don't know how.
Yeah, you could just say Yatu, but it's Yatu Savage, but it's fine. If you want to say Yatu, that's fine. Okay. So, yeah, I mean,
Your ethnicity. Where you from?
well, I'm Hispanic.
So I'm assuming that's your race is a white Hispanic, right?
No,
You're a black. You're Afro Latino.
I don't consider myself white.
Okay, so okay. We know what you are though, but go ahead because you have a
What am
race.
I?
Hispanic is not a race though.
So if I'm not white, what am I?
If you're not, most Hispanics identify as white, and we don't have to go through this. Okay.
I mean, you're assuming you're making assumptions.
No. That's not an assumption. That's statistical fact that most Hispanics in America identify as white. And you don't want to say what you are. You're saying just Hispanic. Hispanic is not a race.
I mean, I'm not white. You could.
What are you
Finish the
then?
language,
No,
homie.
look. You're saying white as in European. I didn't say you are European. Your racial category is not Hispanic because that's not a race.
That's what I stated. I stated I wasn't
Look,
white.
if I
Bro,
state
Latino
my
is
racial
linguistic.
category,
It's not
hold on, sir.
racial.
If I
Latino
say
is
my
linguistic.
racial
It's not
category,
racial.
dude, stop. Okay, it's too early for that. If I say my racial category is Chicago, that don't mean it's a Chicago thing. What is your race? You
So-
don't want to say it. I know what it is. Okay.
So okay, so you're just telling me there's just a preference between white and black then?
No,
Is
it's
that
not.
the point?
What the?
Okay,
Okay, you
one
know
minute.
what? We're
I
moving on,
got
man.
it. I
No,
got it.
because if
So,
you want to
no?
act slow, we
Okay.
don't have time for that.
All
Okay,
right.
this is not special ed class here. All right, you know what your race is, and this is something. Let me say this: this is something that Hispanics do often. On paper, they're all white, and I'm not even supposed to be saying they are. They're all that on paperwork. They are. And then when they get up into a conversation, here they go, white, white, white. I ain't never heard of that word before. They act like they don't know what the hell anybody is talking about. Okay. But on paperwork, on documentation, they voluntarily write white, which is why we know because the census say it. Now, the census say majority of them classify themselves as white, but then when you ask them about it, they act like they have no idea what you're talking about. None of them do. And we don't got time for that. All right.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, Mike, where your people from?
My people are from here in other places, unfortunately.
Okay. We doing this today?
Louisiana Creole.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what's your question?
So, when you came and you were talking about Latinos, do you know the difference between Latinos and Hispanics?
Yeah.
So, I'm Haitian. So, technically, I'm Latino because I speak a Romance language and I'm part of the Caribbean. But at the same time, I am not Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you know the difference between the two?
Yes.
Do you know what it takes? Yeah, so even when we come here to America, if you're from a black country in the Caribbean, you're not Hispanic, even though you're born in Latin America. So we have to navigate that with y'all. And so I was trying to get clarity on how you feel about that.
You got to navigate what? You got to navigate what? Right.
Because black Americans do not feel that people from the Caribbean are truly black.
Okay, well, you're speaking to a Black American. I don't represent all Black Americans.
No, that's why.
Okay,
No, that's
but
why I asked you. I just
okay,
asked you a
let
simple
me give you
question. So I,
let me give you this. Okay, let's be real. This is from me, and I'm speaking for myself as far as this is concerned. We black. This is way off subject, but black is a racial category that you have Black Americans who are racially classified as black. You have Africans who are racially classified as black. You have Caribbeans who are racially classified as black. Okay. Black Americans, because of our unique history here, we've been using black as our race and ethnicity. So really, socially, black is like a race slash ethnicity for Black Americans. All right. But under the census and the way the construct of race is concerned, you all are still black. You're Caribbean black, okay, but you're not like black like we're black. You understand what we're saying? Okay, we're Black
yes,
Americans,
no, of
which is
course.
why there's
No,
been
so
a delineation, and which is why we're using different terms, more specific terms. Instead of like African American, we'll use terms maybe like foundational Black American, so we can specify where we are, so there's less confusion.
okay, yeah, no, because I was asking that just as an honest question because
Okay.
I'm born and raised in this country, but I'm in the other box, you know? So it's
Okay.
like you're black or African American in this country. They don't know the difference between the two. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter where you
What is
are.
it? Let me ask you, what does it matter if they know the difference? We should know the difference, right? Shouldn't we know the difference? They might not know the
No,
difference.
we
Hold
have.
on, let me ask you this though. They might not know the difference between a Japanese person and a Korean person. Do Japanese and Korean people say,
They are
well, we're
Asian.
interchangeable because they can't tell the difference?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter the difference. It's all
No,
like that's
no,
why
the
I don't.
difference. No,
No,
the
that's why
difference
I
comes
don't.
with, brother. The difference comes with history. The difference comes with culture. The difference comes with a different struggle and a different, oftentimes, a different agenda. So yes, the difference does matter.
But history and culture are interchangeable between all of our continents.
No, it's not. No, it's not. If you're from Haiti, I don't have the same history that Haitians do.
What the
Exactly.
heck is he talking about?
Okay,
Okay,
we
well,
don't have
as
the
an
same history.
American,
Don't do that.
wait,
No,
Okay,
because
even as an
stop,
no,
American.
brother.
no, I don't want to
Brother,
get
stop.
jumped.
Hold on, brother,
Okay, I'll stop.
because y'all
I
don't, and
mean,
I'm not trying to diss Haiti. I'm not doing that. But y'all don't have the, just like Haitians and Jamaicans who are both Caribbean don't have the same history and don't have the same culture. Okay, just like
Haitians are being deported.
Haitians and Dominicans uh, uh, all consistently specify the difference between Haitians and Dominicans, and y'all right next to each other. So don't do
Yeah.
that. Why?
Wait,
See,
only
wait,
this is
wait,
why
Dominican.
we
wait,
gotta
Mike.
make
Don't
these
say nothing,
statements.
Mike.
Okay.
Actually, Haitians are being deported from certain islands. So,
Yes.
what is it? Bahamas or Barbados? Y'all are being deported. Why? Because y'all are not like them. They don't want y'all in their country. You are ethnically different, and that's fine, sir. And Haiti is in a weird position because, like you said, they could be considered Latino, they could be considered Caribbean, but nobody wants to take on your issues, right? Because y'all applied to the AU, they denied y'all. But I think CARICOM has taken on your plight for reparations. Don't quote me on that. So I get that there's some
Yes.
nuances to Haiti, right? But at the same time, Black Americans aren't obligated to take y'all on just because y'all migrated here. Y'all actually displaced us in places like Brooklyn, right? So Black Americans are faced with all these people trying to tell us who we are or that we should be the same. But in that government, there's a Haitian caucus, sir. There's a Haitian Chamber of Commerce. I don't see a Black American Chamber of Commerce. I don't see a I see the Black caucus that's filled with immigrants, some from Haiti. So y'all gotta understand that there's a lot of unfairness here. And when you bring up genetics or DNA or what you may be comprised of because you are that person, there is no race or ethnic group as brown. That is a cultural identifier that is used to suppress Black Americans. The Black and Brown coalition is a myth. Okay, so JoJo,
Okay.
please don't start with
All
me.
right. BX.
I'm not
BX.
talking to you now.
BX.
Now I'm on the road. Hold on. I just got to get this out. So please don't play with me because I'm not a newbie to things like genealogy, DNA, genetic testing. I've seen quite a few Puerto Ricans, quite a few Dominicans. You know what I'm saying? So I get what their DNA admixtures are. I know that there's some indigenous to them, but y'all walking around here, God talking about I'm indigenous, ma'am. You're mestizo at best. So let's just cut it out. It shouldn't be this
Okay,
hard. We
no.
are adults, and it's an
All
easy
right, all right.
concept to
BX,
get.
this is my first introduction to you, and I give you all the praise and all the glory for everything that you feel right now.
Feel it's a fact. There is no black and brown myth, right? There is no
Well, no.
ethnic group. Wait, I ain't finished. There is no ethnic group called brown. It's just not a thing. Okay. So when we say that, what is your
But
race?
there's
A
no ethnic
Hispanic
group
or a
called Black
Latino? 1
American.
minute, Mike, please, because I don't want to get frustrated and drop you. But then we do know, right? We could go to the census that damn near half the island identifies as white tea. You get it? So this
BX.
isn't something that we can't prove.
Hold
It's
on, let
not
her go.
something
Let her
that we
finish. Let her
can't
finish.
prove. That's what we're saying.
No, oh, I completely agree, and you kind of like put me into another place because that's not what I was originally answering
Oh,
to.
but
So I don't know.
okay.
Okay,
Wait. One
here's
moment.
the thing. Here's the thing, brother. Okay, that what your question was very off topic. Okay, it was so off topic, and I was trying to see if this somehow connected, or you were planning on circling this back to the topic. This has nothing to do with the prompt at all. And I think your
Well, no,
question. And hold
no,
on,
no.
don't.
Okay,
Your question has been answered. Okay. So now what I'm getting is a very disingenuous vibe because you said, "Hey, this is my first time. I just got this question." We stated our answer. We gave you the statement. We explained it over and over and over again. Now you're sitting up there really monopolizing the time on a subject that is not related to this subject.
I didn't even speak. I didn't even speak. I allowed her to speak. I
Came
didn't
up
even
in
No,
speak.
defense
you
of
asked the
whoever
question
was
when
here.
when you
Hmm.
got the chance to
I
speak.
asked a
You asked the
question, and
question.
then I allowed
Now
her
I'm
to
gonna let you
speak the
speak.
entire
Now I'm gonna
time.
let you speak. You got 1 minute. Go ahead.
Okay.
What happened?
As far as what I was saying, I'm here.
Do
Do I
we
have
got to
a
go
minute?
back to race and stuff? We know you're Haitian American,
Yes,
right?
we got him.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I'm done. I'll leave. I'll leave. I'll leave
Don't
because
leave. No,
that's
no, no.
you're
Go
just
ahead.
gonna
Go
come.
ahead. Finish your
No, you're
statement.
gonna come at. You're gonna come at my. No, I don't want people to just come at my head.
Dude,
Like I
if you
want to
said
have
you
a
haven't
positive
spoken yet, if you had
conversation.
said you haven't spoken, finish your statement then, so we can have a dialogue about it.
Okay. Okay. So we can have a dialogue that black people in the United States do not have the same roots. We don't. We are not a monolith. We are a conglomeration of people that were brought here. And so I don't know and I don't want to discuss pretendian beliefs
No.
because I am not one of them.
Get this nigga off of here, man. What are we doing? This is insane. Why are you even saying we if you Haitian, bro? What are we doing? Let's move on. What are we doing?
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Y'all,
Wait,
stop,
no.
stop. Listen, finish your statement. Are you done?
Please be done.
Me. I want you to like honestly ask yourself this one question. Google is free. How many cities in the United States of America are named after Haiti?
Doesn't matter. What does it matter?
It does matter because black
Now.
people
Here's the
don't
thing.
name those cities.
Okay, brother. Here's the thing. I let you go. The fact that, despite the fact that multiple people wanted you to be removed, I let you go to prove a point. Okay, to prove the point that people such as yourself come up and you're distractors from the conversation, from the larger conversation at hand. The fact that as the host, I allowed you, even though you completely derailed the conversation, I allowed you to finally get
I
a
didn't.
chance.
I
When you
asked a
went, hold
simple
on, stop.
question.
It's over with. The fact that you have said, "Hey, I didn't get a chance to speak. I didn't get a chance to speak," and
I'm
you're
leaving.
stop. You're making it seem as people are come. Now he left. He's making it seem as people are coming at him. He's making it seem as people are, he's being put upon. And I said, you know what? Stop. Everybody stop. And I'm going to let you speak. And even though he had a second chance, he still did not find a way to speak on the prompt whatsoever. Okay. He still did not find a way to speak on the prompt at all, which is what I knew he was going to do, which is why I normally give people 2 minutes. I only gave him 1 minute because that's all it would have taken to prove the point. The point is he wanted to come up because even if it was his first experience with us, he's seen us before and he knows about foundational Black Americans and he knows about our stance. So he wanted to come up and detract from the conversation at hand. So everybody watching, there's hundreds of people watching or watching right now. I want you guys to understand that this is not about us being fair or us bullying or us anything like that. Even though we give grace more than what is necessary or more than what is warranted, even though we give grace to people, these people are still determined to detract from the bigger conversation. We're trying to have a conversation about American politics, and he's having a conversation about how everybody we're all Black and we all came from this one thing and we all from, I guess, Africa or whatever the case is. And this goes to emphasize why delineation is so important. This goes to emphasize why we cannot have a productive conversation with them in the mix. Even when you give them a chance to be productive and add some level of substance to the conversation, they will not do it. And I just proved that by saying, stop, let you go. You've been saying, oh, I want to talk. I ain't talked. And you still, with the second opportunity, still did not talk on the subject. Okay. Mm-hmm. If that didn't prove delineation is necessary, I don't know what else will.
And he was probably one of the damn Democratic shields, to be honest, because they love to pop out. She running around with this damn book. They got to go back to, oh, well, she's Black. No, she is Black. Well, the standard of Blackness, we got to keep moving the goalposts. Oh, what is Black? So yeah, that's her little trolls out here.
So if I could kind of answer that whole Haiti thing, because a lot of that's been the rhetoric that's been going around for people to cling on to us, but I don't want to interrupt real quick. But I came up to kind of answer that Haiti thing real quick. Mm-hmm. So that Haiti, yeah, no problem, brother. I'll be quick. So that whole Haiti thing. So a lot.
Oh, you got it.
So my bad. Yeah. So that Haiti thing that everybody's saying, well, Haiti's in every city and everything. That's a way for people to try to cling on and feel like they have a part in it. What that was our people paying homage, right? Because that's what we do. We pay homage. So yeah, we have Haiti, but they might try to make it seem like the Haitians came down there, they built them cities and they built that name over there. They, like a little Chinatown. No, we're not going to play that game. That wasn't what that was. That was just our people showing love and paying homage and showing respect. That was it. But they try to use that as a way to seem like, or make it seem like they came down there and it was right there next side by side. And again, I don't get it. I don't get why people really try to cling on and try to claim the things that we did, right? Be proud of what you are. Like the brother was ashamed from the beginning. He lied to say he's Creole. And then we find out down the line, well, I'm Haitian. Like, don't be ashamed of who you are, family. And I think that's what it is. They are ashamed of who they are.
Can I say something real quick? Because I'm on a different time zone real quick. I'm out the country real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
So, he was talking about this black or brown stuff, and this really don't exist because I've been to several Latin American countries. I've been over to Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, and Dominican Republic. I've been in countries personally myself. So, and also is that in Mexico, they got a whole ethnic cleansing term called Mela Raza. That means improving the race. That means lighting up. And also they got another term called Blanco Mental. That means whiteness. You go over to places like Argentina, they ethnically cleanse all the Afro-Argentinians about their country. So they bring that racist color castism from Latin America. They bring that over here. Same thing in California. How the Latinos had a whole entire ethnic cleanse campaign to run black people out of Southern California. Everybody know about what happened with the LA City Council, how you had these Mexican politicians, Latino politicians plotting to undermine black political power in Los Angeles. Though same thing, everybody know what happened in the California prison system, how the Latinos allied with the YT supremacists go against Black Americans, Foundation Black Americans, and there. Everybody know about when it comes to jobs, how they deny Black people getting, how they deny Foundation Black Americans getting jobs and resources though.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually no exist, and now we been calling it out, and all of a sudden we wrong though, but we just calling out the obvious though. Now they want Foundation Black Americans come to their defense now because the mass deportation going on. Is that in October they about to get their new budget in October.
Mm.
So yeah, and also you got this person Angelito Montos talking about gang issues, not gang issues though. Did you know that the Latinos? Did you know that they was targeting innocent Black civilians that had to worry about them with gangs though? And I know Afro Elite. I know y'all doing the same thing after Chicago. You go to certain places like Little Village, Cicero, Humber Park. I heard back, I think in 2020 when the George Floyd protest was going on,
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot of Black people driving through, I think Cicero or something like that. How they
Yeah.
was throwing, how they was pew pewing people over
Yeah.
here just for being Black
Brother,
over here.
there's something going on with your audio, brother. I'm not sure. I know you in a different country right now, but your
Yeah,
audio,
can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
yeah, a lot better. You sound like you was in a submarine, brother.
Now I had my headphones on,
Okay,
you know,
all right,
because it's kind of
all
in
right.
Japan it's like four something in the morning here,
Oh
so
wow.
4:36 in the morning.
Okay.
So but what I'm about to say is that yeah, but he talk about gang stuff though. But these Latinos were targeting innocent Black people, like in Hawaii, like East LA. Everybody know that story happened in East Village, how they was
Mm-hmm.
unaliving and throwing I can know if I can't say that BOMBS
Mm-hmm.
to pregnant Black woman in
Yeah.
the Lisa Village of Ramona Gardens though. They had nothing to do with that lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So they using that excuse because their anti-blackness have been showing for a long time. We should listen to Dr. Clay Anderson a long time ago. We talked about how the Latinos and our allies though, but sorry the world off the conversation. I never heard about the book about Kamala Harris 100 Days, how she would talk about Biden because she's kind of mad because Biden made her lose the election because Biden was kind of mad because and also Kamala Harris really didn't have no primary. That was another red flag in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
How you just gonna bring her up there 2.5 months before election? Also, she raised over 2.5, I think over $2.53 billion though. See these terrorists and these other groups, they probably thought Kamala Harris was gonna win because she had all these A-class celebrities. She had the mainstream media on her side, so she probably thought it was in. We kept telling her, if you don't pass these reparations for our people out here in California, y'all gonna lose. And then for y'all understand out here in California, the California Let's Stay Black Caucus, they still playing while reparations. They got this BS bill called AB 7, which is supposed to give cause and mission treatment towards our people. That's not no reparation. They got another reparation study called SB 437, which they're trying to do another 3 to 5 year study in a Cal State University though for another reparation study. So they actually playing games on reparations. Also, we have to fight tooth and nail for that delineation bill called SB 515. We had a lot of opposition from the Boule class, the NAACP, the Urban League, and also the Tedders. And we finally advocate to get that bill passed though. But these Democrats and the Tedders and the Democratic Shields is working overtime to make sure we start this black grassroots movement we got going on in California though. But the Democrat Party, they basically done and finished right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on, no,
Yeah,
hold on, brother.
quick.
Hold
I
on.
was a
I'm gonna
part
let
of that.
everybody who's on the prompt. I'm gonna let you guys speak, but let me call you. So we can have some type of order, so everybody can be organized. Thank you for that. Yeah. I want to get. Don't come off your mic, please, because there's background noise and stuff like that. So just please be muted up. All right. Now, with that being said, let me get to my brother Delineationist.
Yes, I got a lot to say about the book. I did some Google search on it. In the meanwhile, one of the things I think that you created this book was to rehabilitate herself, right?
Mm.
Right. And one of the things that were in question was her birthright citizenship. Still to this day, she's still trying to cling to that 14th Amendment, and she ain't one of us. She's not one of us, so she does not need to be talking about the 14th Amendment. Especially if you didn't give us no reparations, and especially she was out here playing games with the Freedmen's Bureau. These are things that's pertaining solely to us as a lineage people. So I have a problem with her still keep perpetuating this lie, this myth, saying that she's one of us still, even though she's a Brahmin Indian woman. who happened to came her way through Jamaica. So like it's just like when the cat's gonna come out the bag and just say that she's a multicultural woman. That's what I want to know. That I thought that she would have debuted and actually just took that position. I'm not Indian. I'm not black. I'm multicultural. I'm every woman's woman. If you get what I mean. Since she's so much of a womanist and all this other nonsense that she'd be pushing on this platform. So yeah, that's just my talking point in regards to this whole 14th Amendment. She talks about it in her book. And that was one of the things I wanted to just verify real quick, because that's one of the things that she's going to try to come back in if she decides to run and say, no, I'm just like these Negroes here. I'm just like these black folks here. And I'm not really feeling that personally. And I'm just tired of her just trying to be the chameleon, trying to morph her way, just like some of these people that just hopped on the panel, distracting from the topic that you have here. Like when people gonna stop the 3-card melanated Molly games? Because people ain't buying and nobody ain't putting no dollars down on it anymore. Until they come up with some reparations. And this is the same woman who said, I'm not going to do anything specifically for y'all. So you definitely know she's not one of us. So I don't understand why she keeps pushing this 14th Amendment. She know that Trump is probably going to be on her heels in regards to her impersonating and all this other stuff. And I hope, rightfully so, I hope she loses citizen status. I hope she loses a lot of credibility. Because I'm just tired of people faking like they are us and not delivering anything for us, especially if we come in large numbers to represent them. She extracted over $200 million something from our community that could have gone elsewhere. So I'm just disgusted with these melanated vampires such as her. So yeah, I'm just looking at her book and just it's like she's just trying to make it rehabilitate herself, saying I'm not like Trump, even though when she came down to the wall, she didn't do nothing about the immigration issues. And she's from California. She's from California, where she knows that black people are being ran out. So like it's just crazy with her. I hope that nobody gives her the time of day. And I'm gonna definitely try to get her book on the shelf at the library where they're selling off for $0.25 or $1, because that's what it's probably worth. And that's how I see her. And that's one author to another author, too. And I'll wait on the panel. But thank you for allowing me to speak my piece about that.
Can I say something real quick, Afro Elite?
Real quick. And then everybody got to tap the screen, though. We got to.
So the brother Delineation actually brought a very good, valid point. And also, it's Letitia James, she stepped down, the Attorney General of New York, though. So the Democrats thought they were real scared because they know that the black grassroots is now supporting these black boule elitist politicians, though, from selling our people for a long time. See, out here in California, Kamala Harris do a thing. Over millions of people came across the border fine and with no check, and we didn't know who was coming to this country. We don't know if there was special interest groups. We don't know if they was, because also what they've been doing, they've been deporting a lot of people. They deported over 2 million people so far since she's been in office. And also is that they've been finding these people have a whole lot of unalivings back in their country in Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico, and they was able to come out here unchecked for the last 4 years though. So I'm kind of glad, even though I'm not no Democrat or Republican, the one thing I do agree with the Trump administration will come to immigration, shutting the border down, getting these people about it, because we don't know who's coming in the country. You don't know if they get rid of some of these anti-foundational Black American bigots that's coming over here. So I support him 100% when it comes to the immigration issue, though. But they definitely get a lot of these Latinos and immigrants by it, because it's getting out of hand, because they were trying to turn this to another Latin American country. And what they was going to do, if Kamala Harris was going to get in office, is going to be, I'm going to wrap this up, Alpha Elite. So if Kamala Harris was going to get back in office, she was going to try and make Spanish as official language in this country.
Yeah.
If she wouldn't have got in there. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Can I hold on, everybody, hold on, because there's still some people who haven't spoken yet. So I appreciate that. Thank you. I just want to make sure I at least get to everybody on the panel before we have like an open dialogue about it. All right. And I need everybody to tap the screen so we can have more people in here. Come on now. Whether y'all love her or hate it, just tap the screen. Okay. It doesn't matter. Let's get to Tip.
Yo, this has been a crazy conversation. This place went everywhere. But
I know, right? I've been gone for a minute, but we back at it. It's been wild so far. We only been here for like what 20 minutes, something. All right.
yeah. So I'm gonna start off like, all right. So my people from New Orleans. My mom's side is from New Orleans. My dad's side from Oklahoma. So I guess that makes me what Black American, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up like in Crenshaw Mafia. But Kamala Harris, she definitely. You can already start from the jump that she didn't like President Biden at the time. Like they went against each other. They hated each other. They talked reckless to each other. And then all of a sudden, oh, we cool now. I'm the vice president, and like that's why you didn't really see any of action in her, when she was vice president. So she kind of like stayed on the back burner while I guess Biden ran the country, whatever. And that's why you get this question like, yo, where is she at? Why did she do anything? You know, um, honestly, I thought it was just phony. It was complete phony, like fake phony. Uh, Try to play like she liked him, like they liked each other. At the end of the day, they was like they were enemies, right? But on top of that, yo, it's a lot of things I want to discuss about this whole Latino thing and her being East Asian American, or no, I'm sorry, what she said, first Asian American to run for president. Is that the term she said? Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think she said something about being the first Asiatic VP or something like that. To that effect, yeah.
Yeah, something like that, right? So that right there, that statement alone, I knew that she was damn where she was definitely never down with the cause, never down with being part of the black people. She only wanted to be black because it was cool at the time. They know that our vote is worth something, right? To get the black community involved and build their emotions up, and hey, we'll win elections and stuff, right? That right there was complete pandering, slapped in the face. Having how much money was it? 2.5 billion or 25 million dollars and spent it on concerts. It was complete. She fumbled. She fumbled the ball. She I don't know if she has a chance to come back again, but yeah, she fumbled, and like nah, I saw it straight through the phoniness and stuff, man.
Mm.
Especially being from California like myself. Uh, yeah, like this whole Latino thing, it's a real thing. Like I grew up in the early 2000s where wearing a white T-shirt, you'll get pew pew by the Mexican mafia, whatever. That was a hit out on all black people. So, hey, yeah, I'm gonna land my plane, man, because I'm gonna listen in more because like it's everybody in this panel is like really, really educated. So I'm just picking up game. So
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. All right.
for sure.
We a lot of people have differences of opinion. Y'all can request to speak. We'll let you up. And we already got somebody who disagrees. So we'll let them up. We'll let you up if you disagree. If you voted for her, if you love everything she got going on, and you feel like we're wrong or somebody on the panel is wrong, let's have a respectful conversation about it. All right. Let's get to Scott. Scott Neal.
Right.
Yeah.
That was me.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Scott. Yeah.
Alright. So first, I would like to
Where
start
where
off.
your where your people from, Scott?
I'm Black American and white, so I'm mixed. My
Okay.
mom. My mom.
Okay. Can you speak up just a little bit?
Oh, my mic. Sorry, my mic is kind of bad. But yeah,
Okay.
my mom is white.
Okay. Just
So
try to be clear and be
yeah,
quick because your mic is kind of
yeah,
janky.
yeah, yeah. So first, I would like to start off with the 92%. So the 92%, they voted for their own replacement because if Kamala Harris would have won, she would have just brought in more people into the country. So
Mm.
what the Democrats are trying to do is, if it's not obvious, they're trying to replace black people and send them back to Africa. They don't need black people anymore. Mexico has 130 million people. They have enough people where they can replace the entire black population.
Mm.
So, so we keep voting Democrat, Democrat, Democrat. That's not helping us in any way at all. The Democrats have clearly shown us in the last 4 years that they're done. They don't care about black people. They never did, but they're showing us now that they don't care about black people at all.
All right.
Like, and then pertaining to the Mexicans to me are more of a threat than white people are. Because the Mexicans, think about it. We were number 2 in this country for what? More than 200 years. Now we're at number 3. So if we didn't get anything at number 2, we're not getting anything at number 3. The
Okay.
Mexicans are more of a threat than white people are. Because the Mexicans are trying to take our spot. Clearly. So being allies with them, black and brown, it doesn't make any sense.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Hey, look, I'm all on. Look, this is something we've been talking about for a long time. All that black and brown and we all people of color stuff is foolish for any black person to be on that. We got to be off that. We should have been off that. But thank you for that. I appreciate that. Let's get to we'll get to Rockefeller unless ZZ or
Thank you.
BX wants to add in real quick.
I was just going because I actually he probably I'm not gonna say he was probably the most aligned speaker so far, but I agree with what he was saying. I like what he was saying, but send us back to Africa. That's that right wing talking point. Like MAGA. Trump gonna send us back to these determined camps and send us to Africa or send us to a country we not from. I ain't really with the scare tactics. I ain't with the they can't send us nowhere. If they could have did it, they would have did it 100 years ago. They can't send us nowhere. So I don't think either side that's really a logical plan. But everything else, yeah.
Can I
I see what
stop
you're
you for
saying.
1 minute?
My turn.
No, hold on. Yeah,
Just
she
1
gave
minute.
that. I'll let you respond for 20 seconds. You got 20
20
seconds.
seconds. So, regarding that, do you know that right now you have celebrities that are going to Africa and checking their lineage? They're being paid to sell out black people to basically go back to Africa, find out what country they're from. They're doing that because they're going to plan to send black Americans back to Africa.
Well, see, I don't think that's a plan I don't think black Americans ain't going like that. So even if that were a plan, that's not going to happen. And I think they know that would cause a civil war. But I do think there is an agenda happening to try to psychologically trick black Americans into thinking that that's where we belong, to influence us to voluntarily go back. And set us up for some bullshit. But as far as removing us from here, I don't think that's a part of the plan.
Listen, even if we fight back, we're going to be outnumbered by white people and the Mexicans.
No,
So what
brother.
fight are we going to put up?
Brother,
We ain't
hold
going like
on,
that,
hold
I'm
on.
sorry.
I'll let you respond, but we do have to get to other speakers real quick. But I can't say I agree with that because let's be honest, we've been the minority here for a while. And somebody said that too. Somebody has said that before. When ICE first started deporting people earlier this year, that eventually we're gonna go back to Africa. And I said, do you think the Mexicans were preventing us from being shipped back? Do you think that they were our protectors in this country?
Right.
Brother,
You know what I'm saying?
Brother, but we were number 2. Now we're number 3. That's
Well,
the
we've
problem.
always been the minority. They don't
at
need the
number
Mexicans
2.
to send us back.
But we're now at number 3. We
Brother,
have no
okay,
relevance.
we'll circle back to that. Okay,
All right,
let's let some other people speak.
all right.
Okay, let's get to Rockefeller.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Hey, I'm
Unless-
55. Everyone has
Say
a
something.
journey. I'm out of sunny Southern California. And the man that just spoke before us, I feel he's right about a lot of things other than the sin people. I mean, black people are a pivotal and part of this country, period. Let's just start there. They are that. Black and white and Mexican. We're that ones that have been here and our family have been here a couple 100 years. It's never going to change. We're not going nowhere. I don't care what. But sorry about that. I had to hit the button. But what I did want to say is that in the end of the day, I've seen the change. And we keep voting Democrat. Black people keep voting Democrat, and you're voting against your own rights. You really are. And you guys, it's bizarre. And I wish
You
as a
are. You
people, we
guys.
could get a hold of
Where are
it.
you from? Where are you from?
I'm from sunny Southern California, but I live in the
You're
Midwest.
a
I
white man.
left.
Oh, you're a
Yeah, and
white.
I'm a white man. Like that shouldn't matter, but it is the
No, I'm just
truth, though.
asking because you said you
Okay.
all you all you
Oh,
referred
yes,
to
sir.
us as another group of people. So
Understood.
okay,
Understood. Yes, sir. And so in the end of the day, and I'm not talking bad, I'm not saying anything negative, because once again, I love black people. Black people are G's, they're part of our culture. I'm part of them, they're part of me. That's the way I look at it. That's how I raise my kids. But I want you to know, every time you guys vote Democrat, you're voting against yourself. And I wish for the love of God, people would really do the research and go to the root of the information rather than the TikTok or a homie or what somebody speaks well, and get down to the root of it. And you'll see in the end of the day, the Republican Party, like how they say MAGA this. I'm an American. Yeah, and I voted Donald Trump. But in the end of the day, once again, I don't care what your sex is. I don't care what color you are. I do not freaking care. And the majority of us don't care either. We just like good human beings that are like-minded and most likely probably love Jesus. Jesus, God-fearing. And that's
okay,
it.
right on, pal.
I had a question
Let me
for
ask you a
you.
question. What do you
Okay,
think
good.
about what do you think about reparations?
Exactly.
Slavery
That was my
reparations.
question.
Me personally, I don't agree with them at all.
Yeah, I know.
Why
And the
not?
reason
Why
why I don't
not?
agree with
Why
them
That was
not? Why
is
don't
homecoming.
why
I
don't
because
knew that
you
was
agree?
gonna
it
happen.
Hold on,
happened.
hold on.
I'm just
Let
answer
me
it.
finish
It
this
happened a couple
thought.
hundred years ago, 200, 300, 400 years. It's been happening, but it hasn't happened in like a long time. Like I said, I'm 55. Unless you guys like are actually
Can I
like whipped
respond?
by the
No.
cracker man,
Yeah,
I
one
don't think
moment.
you
Because
deserve
he said
shit.
something. You called him.
That's my
One
Damn,
moment.
opinion.
damn,
Land
what
there.
happened to loving black people? I want
Wait.
y'all to understand. They will come up, and I love black people, man. I love them, dude. And black people, they're my favorite people. I listen to hip hop, and I listen to a lot of different people, dude. And it's all about Jesus, man. And then and we'll say, what about reparations? Hell no. They don't
But
deserve
we shouldn't
shit.
pay
Dude,
Wait,
ya.
hold
shit,
on,
man.
Rockefeller.
Come
Hold
on,
on.
man.
Hold on
What
there,
is
Rock.
what
Hold on,
happened to
everybody.
black
Hold on.
people?
Hey, Afro, did you notice he said it happened a couple of hundred years ago? I want to know what black person, people, towns, whatever, got reparations a couple of 100 years ago. Let's see if you know this answer.
Was it you cut out on me on the couple people? What?
Yeah, who got reparations a couple of 100 years ago?
The Native Americans have received them.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I'm not Native American. I'm a foundational Black American, right? And so the average foundational Black American, right, who has tested is found to be of African descent, European, and indigenous. Do we know how the indigenous and European got in there? So here are the things. No, that was a rhetorical question, right? So I'm not Native American. I'm not part of the five civilized tribes, nor did I find any ancestors enslaved by them. So that's a whole different argument for a whole different group of Black Americans, right? I'm not saying those Black Americans don't deserve nothing. They understand their fight and they're actively going at the tribes now, and they have my full support. Right, I'll sign any petition. But now we gotta repair the descendants of freedmen. Right. So what happened was the Special Order 15 was rescinded. It was rescinded. Right. Like the president came in after Lincoln was unalived and said, no, we couldn't have what was promised to us. And recently, in modern day's time, our Freedmen's Bureau was touched by that Indian woman you see on the screen there. So I'm not part of that 92% because you can't touch nothing that belongs to my ancestors and give it to a group of people who ain't never fought for nothing on this land. You know, like the Afro-Caribbeans, the Latinos, all these other people. If my ancestors did the work, even the children were sharecroppers and their money was in that bank. They don't get to touch that, neither should she have. But she descends from enslavers, not those who were enslaved. So there's a difference in mindset anyway. So here's the thing. You said people were giving reparations. We're not Native Americans. We're not the Asians that received it. Who else received it? We're not the small hats that's receiving it. And they weren't even harmed on this land, sir. So, I mean,
Where are we going to
you
go
got to
back,
really do
ma'am?
your due diligence before you say Black Americans don't. Because how could you say them in one breath? They've been here with us for so many years. They're an integral part of America. And then when we say repair us, we're not talking about all Black people. We're talking about freedmen descendants, American Negro descendants, Black Americans. That's who we're talking about. We're
I
not
get it.
talking about Black
I'm
migrants,
foundational
Afro
white.
migrants.
Oh,
And
Reset,
I've been a slave
reset, Afro,
too.
because I missed it. What you
Lord
say?
I
Jesus.
was a slave back in the 1400s.
Oh, okay, Charlie Kirk
Are you
Jr. We
Irish?
get it. God damn.
Are
I'm
you
fucking
Irish?
Irish, so I was a
You
slave,
Okay,
Irish?
so I
well, here's
deserve
the, oh no,
Hold
hold
on,
reparations.
on,
stop,
don't
stop,
talk,
stop.
don't talk, Ted.
Let
Here
BX
goes.
finish. Let
Let me
BX
tell
go.
you something about the Irish. Those who migrated here in 1652 actually took part in the slave trade against my people, right? Some became enslavers, some became overseers. And if you look at the NYPD today, that's why you have so many Irishmen there, because that's their natural pathology of career
Makes you
field.
better than me.
So Irish couldn't
Can
I'm
work
you
in the
tell
better
me
than
field.
Hold on.
you. No, no, no.
Let
You
BX.
know what it is?
people for
I'm
the
a fair and
reparations over me?
compassionate person, and the Irish was paid after their indentured servitude. You were never a slave in America, sir.
Sure
Irish
was when
weren't
I got off
slaves.
the boat.
No, see, you're gonna piss me off. Don't
Well, you
come
didn't
off
know
your
that the
mic.
Irish
Hold
were
on. Don't come off your mic until I
you didn't
finish.
know
You come off your mic, you're gonna have to
and the
drop.
and the Irish
Sir,
and the
I'm going to be very disrespectful in
Italians
a minute because I'm being very nice. One thing I don't play with is the Irish because it's y'all Ellis Island babies who are migrating here
want my
on these apps
reparations.
trying to
Oh,
tell
God.
black Americans they don't deserve reparations, but y'all got the most handouts, right? Let's talk about the Homestead Act. Can
BX,
we
when you
talk
want to
about
kick him,
that?
you can. Just letting you know.
Okay, well, I
Just
could
want
Yeah,
maybe the
he's
room
trolling.
want to hear
He's
this. Let me
trolling.
tell you something about the Irish. The ones who migrated here in 1652, some of them took part in our ancestors' enslavement. Okay, they were enslavers and they were overseers. That was their natural progression, right? Were they treated worse than the other white tea people that were here at the time? Yes, but they were treated better than black Americans. They were just redlined next to us. In 1863, in New York, of all places, they ran up into an orphanage of women and children. Why? Because our ancestors weren't considered eligible for the draft because they were not
What's going
citizens
on?
at that time. But the Irish were. Don't come up here talking, Tyrone. I'm familiar with you. Thank you. And so what happened was because they were going away to be drafted, they were only being drafted. It wasn't said if they were going to WAR or not. They got so in a tizzy thinking that black men were going to take their jobs. They took the anger out on the community instead of the government. So the Irish ain't a friend of ours. And I ain't never went around saying gingers were black. Like you'll never see BX saying that. Now, were they subjugated in some form or fashion? Yeah, but they were paid after the indentured servitude, and that's something they signed up for. I ain't signed up for that shit. Our ancestors ain't signed up to be enslaved. Okay? So they're going to fight us in the docks over jobs. They want to riot against us over being drafted. But this is what happens when you say, okay, I'm going to migrate here because there's more opportunity. You're going to take the good and the bad with the country. So if you're Irish, America owes a debt to my people, honey. And so do y'all when I think about it, especially in New York, because you shouldn't have ran up in that orphanage. You want to talk about that? Because yeah, don't piss me off, white tea people. And let me tell the Irish and Italians and all these other people who migrated here during the 1900s, there are Anglo-Saxons, there are people who descend from when the Declaration of Independence was written, and from the Mayflower, who say, if you migrated here during the 1900s, you are not a citizen and you don't need to be voting. You got white tea people that want to come for your necks, and I suggest you go over there and defend your shit over there. So come on no black platform telling us what we deserve or what you for or what you're not for. I wasn't for you running up in that orphanage either, right? So you're going to take the good and the bad with this country. And the bad is America owes us for the harms that they did to our communities, right? And you ain't got no say in it. If the government say, here you go, Miss BX, here you go, Mr. Afro, Miss ZZ, Miss Halo, Mr. Delineationist, and Mr. Foundational, guess what? You ain't got no say in that. You don't. You just don't. Y'all had too much saying stuff that goes on with black Americans. And right now we shutting y'all down. This is a courtesy conversation. If you are white tea enjoying this panel, please know to keep it cute. Okay, please do your research on your ethnic group of people to see how they harm mine. Because 9 times out of 10 they did, and 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna know about it. And where I lack Afro Elite, ZZ, Delineationist, Halo, and Foundational is gonna fill in the gaps.
I want to say this. When the reason why when I found out what he was, I didn't drop him because I think that perfectly this is a perfect opportunity to highlight the fact that we've not lost the plot. Okay, I want you guys to remember that our political difference, yeah, we don't like the Democratic Party or whatever the case is, boo up the Bama or whatnot. They will come up here and be like, yeah, man, it should be us as Americans together. That's the first thing he came off with. Yeah, we're too rooted together. I see us all the same, dude. They'll come off on that and talk about how much he loves black people and all of that stuff until we ask about reparations. Now, if we was a bunch of buck dancing Trump supporters, we be all like, yeah, you man, I don't even see race, man. You see, we have white people and black people getting along. Nope, nah, we ain't lost the plot, because the second I said the word reparations, he turned into a Charlie Kirk real quick. He pulled that Charlie Kirk out real quick the second I said the word reparations. So no, we ain't lost the plot. We ain't lost the plot. And I don't want anybody to think that just because we criticize the Democratic Party, or just because we criticize people in the Democratic Party, means that we siding with them, because we not. Okay, the second I immediately checked him, and everybody, if I didn't do it, everybody else on the panel was going to do it. Okay, it wouldn't even have to be me. Everybody else on the panel was gonna get on them. Okay,
Yeah.
we
Did you
don't
see
let
his
none of that
comments
slide
just
over
now,
here.
Afro? Did you see his comments? Just stop begging for reparations.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
And remember when I came off the mic when you were asking the question, that was on my mind. We're going to see what an ally he really is, or really want to be. Because the moment you ask them about that reparations committee, the reparations and stuff, they fall apart. I don't think you deserve, and I don't. And it's always, it's mainly the Irish. I got to be honest. It's
And
mainly
they
the
always
Irish.
say that. To be, I don't even know. They say that. There's not those many Irish people. Let's be honest. Every single time we say something about it, all of a sudden, all white people are Irish now. You can't find none of them who ain't Irish, and they will use being Irish as an excuse to say, "Well, hold on, technically, it happened to me too." So, I don't, man. All right, okay, all right.
But you
Afro, you
know
know what's
what?
crazy?
They did
That
a.
was
But you know, hold up, foundational. But you know, what kills me is they always expose themselves. I already knew he was on Charlie Kirk or even Dean Withers type time, because you're coming into a room as a YT person with in a room full of black people and telling us what to do, because that is at the root of white tea supremacy. That's what your culture is. You just love telling us what to do. So y'all just, I don't know, you know what, I'm not the bad guy, but y'all need to stop pointing. Y'all on the bad guy's plantation. You need to come over to my plantation, because y'all really on the bad side. So even with him coming in with that, oh yeah, I just think we're the Christian. We said he was Christian. That was just a cherry on top. I knew right there. Okay, we got one. So, but that's always a telltale sign that when you come around black people, your first sense, like the first thing you want to do is to tell us what to do. No, don't. You shouldn't be over there. You should be over here. How about you worry about yourself? How about you worry about where you're at and what you're doing? But you just have this high concern. You cannot help yourself but to come over here to black people and tell us what you think we should be doing. Because that's white tea supremacy. Yeah, that's it for your ass. That's all that is.
All right. Damn, I can't.
And the thing is, they got a literal holiday for a bigot. Like, why in the heck are we supposed to sit up here and tolerate this noise of them taking away the First Amendment right and trying to uphold the Second Amendment right for only thee and not for us? So it's crazy work how these people will shill out money and policies to benefit other groups, but never do anything specifically for us. And we're supposed to fall on the sword for any and everybody. We're supposed to not ask or demand our restitution for our unpaid labor. So it's crazy work how these people are going to sit up here and use the Irish oppression or the Italian oppression when they were granted whiteness as their quote unquote
Reggie,
reparations.
you
They
on?
got to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna let you land. I'm give you 10 seconds to land, then we'll get to Reggie. He's been waiting patient.
right.
One moment, Afro Lee. Foundational have wanted to interject, but then ZZ went first.
All right.
Right, and then Foundational was supposed to afterwards.
Okay.
Don't get muted, Rockefeller. Don't get muted. Listen to learn. Listen to learn. That's my best advice to
Yeah.
you.
Historically, yeah,
All
YT
right, that's
people.
enough. That's enough. Thank you. We'll get to foundational.
I was quick. No, I was going to say that's the first time I saw a Republican shield. I seen Democratic shields, but a Republican shield is crazy work, right? And he came over here. He thought because we was, going against the left and certain talking points and Kamala things he's doing, he was going to try to use that as a kumbaya. That's all we all want, and that's what he tried to do. And then he realized, hold on. I'm glad you checked it. I checked it. Me and Reggie actually caught it from the beginning. We said, hold on, our radar start going off. That sounded like a YT man.
You
But
see, I'm looking down. I looked up immediately when he started talking. Like, I don't know. The
yeah.
frequency was off to me. I was like, nah, he's one of them. He's a CK.
So, but yeah, I'm gonna land on that. But honestly, that's what they're gonna try to do. But I love that you did that because a lot of people like to say FBA is white supremacy with a black face, right? They think that we sided with white supremacy. They think that we sided with the things that white people are doing. And I'm glad you was able to show that in 4K. That no, that's not the case. Yes, do we have? Yes, do we Yes, do we go against the things that the Democratic Party is doing? Yes, do we go against the fact that a lot of the immigrants are coming to our communities? Yes. But that doesn't mean we are siding with white T. It's just that you guys are undermining us. And because we speak to power, that doesn't mean we think we white T. And that's the problem. A lot of people have an inferiority complex and they equate it to white T. And I'll land on that.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right. Reggie.
Hey, what's up? By the way, yeah, thanks for having me again. So I think I'm gonna do the whole Democrat show, just for a second here. But I did want to correct the record because I've been hearing a lot about immigration and Kamala basically saying, hey, being pro-immigration, which is absolutely not the case. And you can look it up. Her first major speech as vice president was when she went to Guatemala and she said verbatim, she told them, do not come, do not come. The U.S. will continue to enforce its rules and secure its borders. Kamala Harris also faced a lot of backlash from the left because she was so pro anti-immigration. She actually went down to the Californian Mexican border when she was the senator of California, and she got dressed up in the whole custom border patrol outfit and whatnot. You can look up pictures of her right now. So to say that she was just so pro-immigrant and that she was just telling people come on in could be the furthest from the case. This is why a lot of the backlash that she had from the Latino vote was there. That's why she had a lot of backlash from Latinos. And if you remember, the last major politician who we would all call a tether, well, I wouldn't call him a tether, but Obama was called the deporter in chief for a reason. So the idea that that these non-FBA Black American, mixed Black American politicians at the highest level, whether or not that's Kamala or Obama, are pro-immigrant is actually factually not true. It's incorrect. And I would need to see evidence proving otherwise if that's going to be the continued viewpoint presented here. And I'm going to
Okay, wait, hold on. I need you to stop right there because you're a little confused. You said mixed Black American. No way can an immigrant be Black American. So you're confused about how to identify these people, right? Not only that, have you ever heard of the word performative? Getting in front of people, and I'm going to show you what's performative from my perspective. Using the fact that she went to an HBCU and saying that's the full Black experience, so she is a Black woman. Well, we know all her life she has been identifying as Asian, right? Correct? Because I know she did make a speech as the first Asian or person of Asian descent to do XYZ. I'm going to do XYZ. So Kamala's
I thought she was Indian. I didn't know she was Asian.
She's Indian, but Indians are Asian. They're Asian descent, Halo. So here's my issue. There's a thing called performative. Democrats are very performative, right? So Kamala was being performative. She was the border czar, right? She went down there in a uniform, but we saw how the borders are. And then I want to ask you too, do you even live in America or a sanctuary city? Because I got to tell you, I live in New York, right? And even legal people, I don't even have to say foundational Black Americans, but my Latino neighbor who's been here all her life, pay taxes, all these things, we couldn't get certain benefits that the immigrants were getting. So say the immigrants got $10,000, I think the receipt said, in cash, and $5,000 in food stamps. They were only offering certain people $11 in food stamps. What do you mean? We was born here, raised here all our life. And so the Latinos weren't upset with Kamala because she was anti-immigrant. They was upset with her for letting the borders run over like that. She wasn't securing them borders. I don't know what America you living in or was looking at. It was performative. And the Democrats are performative when it comes to Black Americans, right? Biden was in office. Kamala was his vice president. They had all that time to push a reparations bill, but it wasn't until Trump got in and started talking about Doge and all these other things. They want to wheel out that HR 40, and they even introduced a bill in January. Did I tell you about that bill, Afro, that I just found out about? It's not that HR 40, it's that HRES 414 that I think we need to look at, because it does. It was introduced in January, but it hasn't passed or advanced in Congress. But it does mention Hispaniola. It does mention the Caribbean. Matter of fact, it was Dredd who was helping me look over this bill. So I'll comment it in your box so you can look at it, because it's sitting on somebody's desk now. So performative, Reggie. You got to understand who's being performative and who's really putting in the action and for the people. Kamala was performative, saying one thing, but she was actually doing another. I'll land there.
Right, I'm gonna let Reggie respond.
I said Kamala. You, ma'am, don't police me. Say my name right, because people be up here calling me BK, and the name is BX. Okay? So come in here talking about say her name right. Worry about your name on a resume that may get thrown out. Worry about that.
Yeah.
Don't go there with her. Don't go there with her.
I don't know why they play with BX, man. You better leave BX alone.
I thought her name was Kamala.
Look, we're
about say her
not
name.
We don't have an Indian accent, so that's the thing. It's hard for us as Americans to pronounce that Indian name. So go ahead, Reggie.
Yeah, thanks.
Y'all play too much.
So to respond to BX, not BK, BX, shout out Southside Bronx. But yeah, so I heard what you said, but here's the thing though. The person who was at the head of everything was Joe Biden. It wasn't Kamala Harris. She was merely the vice president. So two things. The whole border patrol and whatnot, she didn't have control over that, right? But she certainly led her voice to being anti-immigration. You can just Google it. This was something that happened when.
I'm gonna give you 10 seconds because there's other people I want to jump in, and then there's other people I want to allow to hear.
Right. Right. Thank you. So yes, I hear what you're saying, but BX, at the end of the day, it was Joseph Biden who was determining things like that. And one last thing, you're very correct. I don't want to see hotels and whatnot being allowed for immigrants to be put up for free. I would much rather see the people of New York, people who really need it, be put up in those hotels. So I agree with you on that.
Okay, let me add into this because I want other people to. We're back on topic, so that's good. So I want other people to jump in. During the debate, this was I think in 2019 or 2020, whatever. No, this was 19. When she had the debate in the primary against Biden or whatever, she was specifically asked what she was going to do for quote unquote undocumented immigrants, and she gave a laundry list of policies and legislations that she was going to sign if she got into office for quote unquote undocumented immigrants. All right. There was a lot of things that she did in show, and I put there's clips and stuff like that all on the internet. Okay. So there were things that she was going to do specifically for DACA, specifically for undocumented immigrants, specifically to rush them so they can hurry up and get expedited citizenship. She literally said these things. Okay. Now, this is before her and Biden won, but that was her stance. She did not make a different stance until years later, and then somewhat. She didn't call out the fact that they were coming in. You're saying that she got a lot of flack for being so harsh on immigration. We've seen her talk about how America is a country of immigrants. And then even still, there's 2 points that kind of defeat that argument to me, really, is because when she got the opportunity, when Biden dropped out and gave her and pretty much handed her the campaign, when she got the opportunity to get in front of the cameras and say, we messed up with immigration, we did this wrong, we did this wrong, we did this wrong, she never did that. Okay, she never did that. She consistently said, she actually said, quote, when she was asked on The View if she would do anything different from Biden, she said no. Okay. She said that there was nothing that Biden did that she would do differently. And she was consistently really hammered about immigration. And she did not give a, okay, well, if you say she stayed on code, she stayed on message as far as what Biden was saying. She and Biden gave the same message as far as immigration, that immigration is not that bad, that MAGA's making it out to be a worse issue than it is, and that we're working on it, and that she gave the exact same message that she was giving the entire time. She didn't switch up her message. She was saying that immigration, first off, she didn't really even state it was an issue till after she inherited the campaign. And then she said that she was going to handle it because she was a prosecutor. She said that during her debate against Trump, that she was going to quote unquote handle it because she was a prosecutor. So we're not going to sit up there and sanitize it and make it seem like she was against the influx of immigrants coming over here, because we have on record that she wasn't. And then when she had, and the key part is when she had the opportunity to state what the flaws were from the Biden administration as far as immigration, she did not do that. Instead, she kept actually talking about how Trump was going to deport people. That was one of her biggest campaigns. Her big campaign thing was going around talking about how Trump was too harsh on immigrants, and how Trump blamed everything on immigrants, and how Trump was going to commit mass deportations. So she was against mass deportations. All right. Because she campaigned on that. She campaigned that Trump was he was going to have all this mass deportations, and she was going to protect them. All right. So let's not do that. Like she was super hard on immigration. She wasn't. She was not. Let's not. Come on, Reggie.
Let's be clear that she also tried to attack our Freedmen's Bank. Let's be clear. She tried to make it a we all the world and try to bring all of the immigrant class that benefit off the backs of our ancestors with the Freedmen's Bank that was made specifically for the freedmen, right? And she talked about that specifically. So again, we're not going to play that game and act like she was all for the Americans here, the Black Americans. She was for a we are the world type of, and as she should, because she herself is of the immigrant class also. So we can't trust her. Right, so that's just what it come down to.
Can I piggyback off of Marshall real fast? We gotta admit, right? And Reggie, I know you're from Trinidad. We have to admit that these other ethnic islanders, right? Even if they are considered black, they do have a disdain for Black American. Not all, but some. And sometimes that's exhibited. I'm gonna give you an example. The lady who almost went viral for saying, "Don't unalive me, officer. I'm a Jamaican. Unalive a Black American." That mindset right there that would even think to throw Black Americans under the bus are in our government. Their names are Wes Moore, Brian Donalds, Yvette Clark. There's a Haitian woman trying to get Black Americans to invest, but she's pushing bills because she's in Congress. So they have monopolized the government, Reggie. So if you want to do your own research and then come back and discuss it with me, then you can. So Yvette Clark is a representative over a district in Brooklyn. On Jamaica's Independence Day, she was like, Brooklyn is I think the 15th parish of Jamaica. That's not true, right? For the simple fact that Yvette has made it that way because she'll get on platforms and say things like this. We can acknowledge the people that were forced here, but now we're moving on. I need more immigrants in my borough. I need more immigrants. I need more immigrants. And then she's on all these caucuses. So she's on the CBC, which is the Congressional Black Caucus. She's on the Congressional Caribbean Caucus. She's on the Congressional Haitian Caucus. Her advocacy has secured funding and certain things as protections for these other people who are Caribbean Haitian. I don't know too much what she secures for the Africans, but they got their own immigrant caucus. So now if they got all their caucuses And there's only one CBC. So we don't have a CBC for Gullah Geechee or Louisiana Creole. We have one Congressional Black Caucus who I thought until I started researching was fighting for everybody. Why? Because their mission statement says they are the conscience of Congress and that they fight for all Black people and marginalized groups. Who are the marginalized groups? Hispanics and Asians. But when I go to the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, and that was a few months ago, unless they changed it, and I go to the Asian Caucus's mission statement, there's nothing there for Black Americans. That says they stand in coalition with us, allyship with us, or collaborate with us in their mission statement. The African Immigrant Caucus say they deserve the same rights similar to African Americans. This is why I say these immigrants have delineated first and Black Americans are late to the party. But guess which ones are being called the hate group? They monopolized the government and locked us out because they're not properly advocating for us.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't
All
fair
right.
to the people that got them the right to even have a caucus.
Okay.
Can I chime in
I
on
want
something?
60
Hold on.
naked
Let's.
niggers to climb
Halo
my
has a
tight
hand
little
up.
asshole. Fuck my
Dude.
asshole.
Hey. Okay.
I got them all.
I got speed down, speed on that one. Boom.
Immediately.
Yo,
All
what's
right.
Stay
up?
with us.
I'm driving to work, so listening. I mean,
Can you speak or do you want to wait? Do you want to
can y'all
wait
hear me?
or? Yeah, we can hear you.
I can speak. I can speak. I got headphones in.
Okay.
Hope my damn GPS don't start talking. But anyways, what I feel about the Democratic Party, I feel like
Just imagine
people who vote
fucking
for
my tight little
Kamala.
boy pussy.
What
Yeah,
the
I'm back.
fuck? Oh no.
Trump, at this
Anyways,
point
I'm
in
done.
time, if y'all see a white T profile, I wouldn't even bring him up. But I know Afro is
I didn't
anyway.
even. I can't
Okay.
tell. I couldn't see exactly until I just looked at
So
the
let me
picture.
say this one thing. One thing we gotta realize is that whenever we having productive conversations, it makes them angry because the fact that they had a 200-year head start and one out of every 20 Black Americans is millionaires, and they see that we catching up, we on their heels. This is why they're going crazy like that. So I want to be clear. So when you see these profiles, just have that ready to his profile, the thing in the red where the disconnect is right there and ready because if they see something silly, it's right there. Boom. That's what I do, and I land.
I blocked him.
So so when it comes to the Democrat and vote for Kamala, I think Kamala voters, y'all really damaged the Black community when you voted for her because it showed us that you don't care. You're just up here voting blue no matter who. They have no policy for Black Americans. You're not letting them stand on business. They won't even pass a hate crime.
She's driving, so y'all just
Mama.
give her some time.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
1
with
minute,
us?
Reggie. Yeah, she went into the Matrix.
Okay. Well, you back?
I'm in the Matrix now.
No, not now.
Nah.
You muted.
Yeah,
Am I
not
back?
now. You good now?
Okay, well just go ahead. Go ahead. I just speak when I part.
All right, got you. Okay. Reggie, I do want to get to you, but let's be fair to everybody else. ZZ, if you want to add something, you can, and if not, then we'll get to delineationists, and then we'll let Reggie respond. We'll let you respond.
I'm gonna circle back to that. Go ahead,
Okay. Well,
let the
delineationist, you got it.
Okay, yeah, my problem with Kamala Harris was during the 2019 debates, right? She, as well as I think, as well as like majority of the candidates, raised their hand to give free health care to anybody that crossed the border, and that was one of the things that was a major deal breaker when it came with the Democrats across the board. We had people who served and fought for this country, specifically our Black veterans who are not being properly being taken care of, but yet still someone who never took the sacrifices and the risks to make this healthcare system and stuff of that nature. They wanted to hand it out for free like it was candy, and that was a major issue. And to say that she wasn't for immigration and stuff like that, if she was against immigration, she would have never taken the job from Joe Biden. She would have said, hey, because of this, that, and the third, I can't take this role because this is my stance politically. She conceded to him, same way that she conceded to him on the stage when she called him, I think, she said something expletive about his campaigns in his lifestyle, if you get what I mean,
Hmm.
in so many words. And she called him out and said that he was a misogynist and all this other goofy stuff. And she went back to work underneath him. So I guess what she felt about him wasn't impactful enough.
Hmm.
So she went along with the program. So that's what my pushback to you specifically on when it comes to Kamala or Camellia, however you want to say, the chameleon Harris who keeps changing her skin and ethnicity.
Let me add this to the chat room before Reggie gets to respond to to what people have been saying. People are talking about, well, what about Donald Trump? What about Donald Trump? I think earlier in this live stream, we've all proven that we're not Trump supporters. We're not MAGA. We're not no segment of that or group or organization of that. We've already proven that. But the thing is that, and this is why I'm glad that you guys don't control the narrative and you don't really have no real influence over the community like that. Because the second we start criticizing MAGA or the second we start criticizing Donald Trump, we were just talking about Charlie Kirk like the last week or so, it stays focused on that. If we talk about Donald Trump, criticize him, JD Vance, anybody, it stays focused on that. The second we start criticizing the Democratic Party, then, oh, well, no, we got to talk about Donald Trump now. Donald Trump is worse now. Y'all saying this as a bad defense because really y'all don't want these people to be criticized whatsoever. If we criticize Harris, oh, we can't talk about Harris because we got to talk about Trump. If we criticize Biden, oh, we got to talk about Trump. This is why the Democratic Party is so used to running amok and ignoring black people, okay, and have been so used and accustomed to abusing the black community because y'all, and I'm talking about the people in the chat room, not all of y'all, but some of the people in the chat room, y'all are so focused on, well, this is my team and I gotta back them no matter what. And it's about getting at the Republicans. It's not about what's in the best interest of the community. No, it's about what's in the best interest of the Democratic Party. Okay, so because you guys put what's in the best interest of the Democratic Party before you guys put what's in the best interest of the black community, this is why the Democratic Party is so used to abusing their power and abusing the black community. Okay, which is why we are not getting anywhere with them. So I'm glad, to be honest, I'm glad that you guys have essentially
Hey,
lost the narrative as the Democratic shills that you are.
So I'm gonna say
you hear me
real quick
now?
if you don't mind. And
Wait,
that's the thing.
Halo's
The
at
problem
work.
is,
Foundational. Halo's at work. So let her run. Let her go real fast. She wants to contribute. Go ahead, Halo.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying that people who vote for Kamala, I feel like they didn't care. They didn't care about having our best interests in the black community, because honestly, black Americans, I feel like we should be independent. We shouldn't have voted for the couch. We shouldn't have voted for anybody, because when it comes to Kamala voting blue, no matter who, they had no policies for black Americans. We should have been focused on getting that hate bill passed. But y'all want to sit up here and vote for a woman who clearly said out her own mouth that she's not doing nothing specifically for black Americans, but then in the same time did something specifically for illegal immigrants in this country. And then when it comes to Donald Trump, I'm not a Donald Trump supporter, but I will say that I feel like he was a better runner-up, because we realized what Kamala was trying to do to the black community was trying to make our vote not matter. Letting all these people come up in here to erase us. I don't care what you think. Your only argument about Trump is he's racist. Well, I got something for y'all, because Kamala's racist. Biden is even a bigger racist than Trump. If you really dig down into their history, the only thing you can say, oh, he's a racist. Who cares? That's not what I don't care. All I care about is what she was doing to our community. She didn't care about black Americans. She came in faking like she knew something about collard greens. Came in faking about even being down with the culture. Like, don't play in our face. We're not gonna have another Obama running around here. Okay? So at the end of the day, I voted for the couch. I didn't vote for nobody. Now I might troll a little bit and say I voted for Trump because I know it upsets some tethers out there. Because I do use that logic, because I like upsetting tethers. But I voted for the couch. We as black Americans, we all need to be independent voters. We shouldn't be sitting up here, whoever got the better policies for our community, Think about your communities. These people ain't did nothing for us. Didn't even try to put didn't even do nothing for healthcare. Did nothing for us. And you keep voting for these people. You are the problem. Make them stand on their ish. You keep voting for them, they're gonna feel like they ain't gotta do nothing for us. Nothing for us. They ain't gotta pass nothing. You keep voting, don't give them your vote. If no policies is for Black Americans, don't give them your vote. Don't vote at all. Sit your raggedy butt down and just let it go.
So the Halo hit the nail on the head. That's kind of what I'm going to get. We got to start making these politicians and these Congress men and women work for us. Last 65 years, we've been voting blue. I don't care who and don't care what they're saying. You got blue behind you. You Democrat. We're going to vote for you. No policies, nothing. Like Halo said, hate crime bill. The policies for Black Americans, right? Specifically Black American men and women. In specifics, right? Not the trick bag words of POC, urban communities, we are the world. None of them trick bag words, right? We're not gonna play that game. Specifics for Black Americans. I don't care what party it is, whether it's Republican or Democratic. What can you do and make both of them tap dance for you? It's time to start making them tap dance for us. Well, I can do this for the Black community, and then another one Democrat. Well, I can kind of do this and make them work for you, right? And even the independent. This is how we should vote from now on. So when people say, "Well, you voted, so you saying you should vote for Trump?" Yeah, because Trump is getting these illegal immigrants up out of here. Now we have Black American men and women in construction where they couldn't be in construction before because these companies and corporations was paying slave labor to these illegal immigrants, $5 a day, $10 a day, right? And so what's going on is
Giving them
they
houses, giving them houses.
they want they not what's going on is they not hiring Black Americans. Why would they? Or any kind of Americans, why would they? They have slave laborers. But when you get the illegal immigrants out of here, now they're forced to pay American wages. Yes, that's very beneficial. We are now Black Americans got a fighting chance to get in jobs and call at different places. Yeah, so yeah, but Donald Trump is a better option. Otherwise, she would have flooded the gates, continue to flood the gates. We got to understand they strategically put these illegal immigrants in our communities, right? They put them in New York, Detroit, Chicago. They didn't put them in one of these white communities. They know it'd be January 6th in 24 hours if they would have flooded the gates and put them in these white communities. So we're not going to play that game. So
And if
right
they would
now,
have replaced our
whoever
vote, they're trying to replace our vote. And once they did that, we wouldn't matter. We wouldn't have a voice. So the fact that their only argument is racist, I don't give a F. Get these people up out of here. That's all we gave a F about. And you really would have been crying if she was in office, because you'll still be complaining about how our community start looking like a third world country. Oh, baby, it would have been worse. You would have had Venezuelans taking over everything. So you sit up here crying about what's going on now, baby, it would have been worse. You've been still crying about your tax dollars going to them for getting them houses and giving them food stamps off your tax dollars when they ain't contribute to none of the taxes or nothing.
Yeah, we're gonna let Marshall finish, and then we're gonna get to Reggie, because then we got another speaker, and I want to hear from her.
go ahead, brother. I'll land on that one. I
Oh, thank you,
appreciate you.
thank you. I'm like that. Let's be honest, y'all. If some of y'all agree and some of y'all disagreeing. If y'all agree or disagree, feel free to come up as long as you're respectful. Reggie disagrees, and he's up here, and he's at least Reggie's being respectful. I will say that. Reggie, you can go ahead. I know a lot of people been commenting on your stance, so you can go ahead.
Shipped them up north, both with Governor Greg Abbott in Texas and Ron DeSantis in Florida. He shipped Venezuelans up north to my city of DC, to BX's city of New York, to Chicago and whatnot, right? Next, you also said Trump is better for jobs, but right now the black male unemployment is at 7.1%, the highest it's been since 2021. Right, so we can't really make that correlation. And also, black women have lost 300,000 jobs. There was one point I wanted to make toward Halo, not toward you, but to address something you said, because I thought it was it's pretty significant. We keep talking about a hate crime bill for FBAs for Black Americans, right? But the truth is, within the 14th Amendment, unfortunately, the Equal Protection Act says that you can't actually have race specific laws to a specific group. And of course, we're going to bring up the
That's
Asian.
BS. That's BS.
Hold on.
They
Ma'am,
passed the Asian
ma'am,
hate
Let
bill
him,
ma'am, I'm trying
overnight.
to talk.
Halo, Halo, let him
Ma'am,
go.
I'm trying
Let
to
him
talk. I'm trying to talk. So we're going to bring up the Asian hate crime bill. Yes? Now, if you actually read through the body of the Asian hate crime bill, it doesn't mention Asians one time. That's
That's a
only in the
lie. Don't
title.
do that. That's a
That is
lie.
not a
Don't
lot.
don't lie
That
like
is
that.
not. You can read
Don't
it. You
lie.
can
Don't
read it
just
right
tell
now.
lies, dude.
Read it
Reggie,
right
come on
now,
now. Reggie,
brother. In the body of the law, please,
in the body.
bro,
In
bro.
the
In the
body, yes it
body,
does. Several times.
pull it up. Pull it up.
Reggie,
If you
why
pull it
you
up,
Reggie, come on, Reggie.
listen,
Why you lying like
bro.
that,
If you
Reggie?
can,
Well, I have a
here we
question. I
go.
have a
If you can
question.
pull it up,
Wait,
hold
wait,
on one
wait,
second.
Reggie. I have a question. Does it mention what type of Asian, right? Because there's Japanese, there's Chinese, there's Korean. So they did it when you read it, right? Because everybody else is saying that it does mention Asians. When you read it, did you even see Pacific Islanders? Like, what did you see? Did you see anything that could be race or lineage? Because that's what you're missing. Black Americans, for the most part, we have an ethnic group here, right? And we were already promised certain protections. So we're not, you can't compare the certain people to us. So when we say we need a hate crime bill for black people, we don't never think about the immigrants because the black community is us. Before this great influx of immigrants, who was the black people here besides us?
No
Nobody.
one, right? So, but here's where you're missing. I don't disagree with you. I agree with you 100%, right?
Right.
The issue is in the Equal Protection Act, and I think if the civil rights leaders had to do it all over again, they
Right.
were like, "Yo, no, we should be race specific because if we're not, then essentially it leads to race erasure."
Okay, stop there. Wait a minute. Halo wasn't talking about black race. He was talking about the black ethnic group. When we say
Okay,
black people need an anti-hate crime bill because we have a history of being strange-fruited on
DX.
this land. I'm sorry. Could you
DX.
hear me?
Okay, yeah, you're a little
Yeah.
you're a
So
little
So
I'm
Reggie,
sorry.
so
I'm
are you
sorry.
mad
So she was
because
talking about the black. I got it, Halo.
yes, you
She
still
was
got
talking
let
about
me
the
finish.
black ethnic group. She wasn't
Right,
talking
and
about
but
black
no,
race.
I
right, and
think he
how do you
feels some
think
type of
my
way
stance
that
should
he's not
be?
included. I feel like you feel some type of way
I be
because you're
putting
not.
my hand over the
Hold
speaker.
on,
I'm
y'all.
sorry,
But
guys.
I think you feel some type of way that you're not included in
I
this hate
don't.
crime bill because a lot of immigrants or anchor babies, they feel some type of way because they're not included in a lot of things in America because black Americans want things specifically for us. And that's a problem. You can't let us have nothing for ourselves because you feel like you think you need to include yourself in everything we got going on. Like Reggie, you're not even of our ethnicity, and you're over here worried about a hate crime bill about us. I think some things. That's why we need y'all to stay out of politics. We need y'all to stay out of politics and mind your business. Like, to be honest with you, you're over here trying to break down the hate crime bill for Black Americans. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. Sometimes you need to mind your business.
So either you want to know the law or you don't, and that's fine. Let me respond to what Afro Elite said about people in the comments, and this is where I wholeheartedly agree with him. To all of the Democrats who are in the comments, these are the conversations we have to have, or if not, we're never going to hear people. We're never going to get better as a party. I do want to say that we did actually elect three Black Americans, FBAs, into the Senate, which is spectacular. Also, Brooks, Blunt Rochester, and Raphael Warnock. Raphael Warnock could be president. I hope he is. So to say that the Democratic Party is doing absolutely nothing, everyone wants to talk about Byron Donald, right? No one wants to talk about Raphael Warnock. Why are we doing that? Why
Okay,
don't we get those people some
stop
praise?
there.
Okay,
Stop there.
first off, when we talk about individuals who are, climbing up the ladder politically for themselves, that's good for them. When we talk about the Democrats aren't doing anything, we don't mean individuals are not moving the needle for themselves and for their own pocketbooks. We're talking about in relation to the community. In the relation to the black community, there has been several promises that the Biden Harris campaign made that the second they got in office, they said, forget about all of that. Okay. They collectively said, we gonna forget about all of that stuff. And they did not even address any of the promises that were made until it seemed as until Trump was beating them in the polls. And then they started coming out and they had to do interviews and they had to say, okay, well, we are trying, but they're blocking this, and they pulled the same, they're blocking this, they're blocking that. They can't get anything. The Democratic Party, they rode on quote unquote police accountability, because let's be honest, Biden wouldn't have won if it wasn't for the George Floyd uprisings and the Democrats capitalizing off that moment. Okay. And they capitalized off of police accountability. And then when Biden got in office, he said the police need more money. Okay. And did not do anything to hold them accountable at all. And the unalivings of black people went up by the police under the Biden Harris administration. All right. There was several promises that they did not deliver on. Okay. When it came to even just the sentiment of a hate crime bill, they didn't even deliver on that. Let's be honest. They didn't deliver on one thing. Now, when it came to Asians, they delivered on that. When it came to Asians, you can actually look, there's actual things you can see that they delivered on when it came to the Asian community, who did not really even matter as far as their election victory. Okay. Biden himself said that he wouldn't have won if it wasn't for Black America's vote. And then when he got in office, he was MIA, so much so that the Congressional Black Caucus had to hunt him down for Biden to say we need to fall in line with Hispanics, with Kamala sitting right there next to him, telling how Black America needs to fall in line behind the Hispanic community because they're bigger than we are now.
Can
All
I
right.
can I stop you there, Afro? So I sat in a meeting with the U.S. Freedmen's Project, right? Brother Divine. He activates. He's a reparationist, and he personally asks politicians, legislators to push bills for Black Americans. He's also asking to push for disaggregated numbers, because one flat blackness is no longer working for Black Americans, right? But the Caribbean already knew this. So my whole point is this. Y'all. I'm losing my train of thought here. Biden did us a disservice when he said that we need to fall in line with the Hispanics. Because if you added up three main groups, and I think Puerto Ricans are one. If you added up the Hispanics, we're still larger than the Hispanics as an ethnic group. As an ethnic group, we still outnumber the Hispanics. So to give them the full belief, or anybody the full belief, that we don't outnumber the Hispanics and that they're actually so much larger than us, is a disservice to Black Americans, because now we thinking that they're larger than us and we just don't have no hope here in this country. It's about hope and morale sometimes. You cannot say things like that, because Hispanics do. Despite the numbers, they don't have the history on this land. They just don't. So if Black Americans are the second largest ethnic group outside of Germans, how do the Hispanics or Latinos, because I get that confused sometimes, excuse me, Latinos, how do we have to fall in line with them if we're the second largest ethnic group? Like, that just don't make no sense. And they don't have the history on this land that we do, Afro. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Nor the legitimacy. They don't have the history nor the legitimacy. They don't have the blood, sweat, and tears in the country. A lot of them, you talking about Hispanics being so powerful. Well, ISIS taking that away. ISIS just chopped that down. Been chopping that down all year long. They can't even organize as far as getting the ICE protest taken care of. They need it. And you saw towards the end of the election, Obama, he came out talking about what? Black folk, black men, black voting. Okay. He didn't wave his finger at the Hispanic community, because at the end of the day, when it comes to American politics, as far as the federal government, Black America, that is what matters. Okay. We are the say so. We are the gatekeepers of who gets to get in and who doesn't get to get in. It's not Hispanics. Okay. Now you want us to fall in line behind them because you want their interests to be at the top of the forefront. But no, we said no. The Hispanic interest and their agenda, what's in their best interest, is not going to be at the forefront of what's in our best interest, because we believe that they outnumber us. Okay. We said we'll take our small numbers and we still going to make sure our interest is at the top of the forefront, which is why they lost. That's exactly why they lost. She lost because they deserve to lose. They deserve to lose.
Afro, can I say one thing real
Go
quick?
ahead, go ahead, Reggie.
Oh, yeah, so I just looked it up. UBX and Halo, right? It does mention Asians and Pacific Islanders. maybe I read a draft. I didn't read the final version, but you three are correct. And yes, then in that case, yeah, then there should be a hate crime for FBAs.
And another thing too, brother. You said earlier that it was the Republicans that removed them from certain states. That was my point exactly. The fact that the Democrats flooded the gates, and we see under the Democrat under the Republican Party, they're not going to play that immigration game, right? They're going to get them up out of there. Had we had the Democrat like Kamala or anyone else, we would have been having them flooding the gates in every state, right? And again, it's already hard competition already when it comes down to these areas like New York and Chicago, and it's already competition right now. That let's throw in millions of people, right, that get uh, grants specifically for them, and then get the jump rope and go back and forth between Black American grants and Black American scholarships, et cetera, and get specific Black immigrant grants or grants in general, right? So this is the problem that, and DACA and things like that that can help catapult them forward. So when they come here and say, quote unquote, immigrants doing better, no, these guys are jump roping between grants and scholarships from both sides and being catapulted forward. But plus, we're not talking about the free housing and the education, et cetera, right? So that you kind of proved my point on that.
To say this to Afro Elite. So I've registered for census.gov, New York census, New York.gov, just to get like period updates of what they're doing. And do you know I received an email today that they are giving another incentive to who they call the new Americans, and it's going to focus on their mental health and trauma.
Oh Lord.
And you want me to send it to you,
Yeah,
forward it
please
to you?
do.
Okay. So my whole issue is this: as we fight for reparations, I know some people, and I usually don't talk on open forums about our reparations. It's not only about a check, guys. It's about healing our community. People who know me know that I say the Black Americans, the community do need mental health therapy, right? So in New York, I am familiar with the mental health system, and I believe that they dropped the ball on Black New Yorkers, and we do need to have that revamp. So for me to see that and know what they put our people through, right? Misdiagnosis, over medicated. If you could find the funding, the doctor tells our people they have to find these professionals themselves. You're a whole doctor. Y'all have networks. What do you mean we have to find these professionals ourselves? So there's just a lot going on to have people who newly migrated here or newly got citizenship, right? And the people who've been here for years, aren't they still technically immigrants? Can't they say they still new Americans and get these type of incentives? So we got to call our politicians out too, as we do. We call out Clyburn. We call out, who's the other one there? Clarence Thomas. We call out Booker. We call out these people. But it seems to be falling on deaf ears to me. But so my whole point is this: they're doing all these things, and when you say, "Oh, the Abbott pushed them up to the north," they've always been in the north. That's how it got so bad, Reggie. New York is a hot spot. Florida is a hot spot, even though that's the South technically. But Washington is a hot spot for immigration, metropolis areas. That's why the South is unfamiliar with the ways that immigrants, tethers, as they're called, right? So because they push them into these places where they could get specific things and they're weaponized against us. But even though I can admit that they're weaponized against us, they choose to continue the weaponization. Even some West Indians, Reggie, came here with a tactic they learned from the British West Indies to defeat their oppression over there against the white people and enacted it on our community. So it's not like we haven't tried or done our research, Reggie. When we say that this is happening, it is. But what I'm surely realizing, and this is to my foundational Black Americans, I don't think that the immigrant class, no matter the immigrant, will ever really be in full, like, I don't want to say allyship because I don't believe in allies due to their actions. They will never see things in the way that we see them. They view us as two things: either overprivileged, spoiled, and complaining. Well, that's one category. Or competition. They got to do better than us because they think they know so much. And these are things that they tell me, and I'm starting to see it now. Okay. So there's always nuances, Reggie, and I know you have good intentions because you came up here. You're very respectful. Even in the chat, when me and you are going back and forth, notice you may be the only immigrant, of West Indian descent. I ain't Black yet for getting on my nerves. because I know that you are honestly trying to learn, but I don't think you'll ever see things our way. And I think you will always be Democrat. So I'm going to say this. Black Americans are no longer voting for party loyalty. Party loyalty to the Democrats is harmful and a detriment to Black Americans. We're voting policy, and we're pushing to be independent or non-party voters so that we can hold both parties accountable. But I got to tell you, who's the one that panders to this the most? Republicans know they could get in office without us. It's them Democrats. And that's where we have an issue. Don't pander to us and then drop the ball on us, because now we're here.
Okay.
And nothing I want to say is, regardless of how you try to spin it, if the Democrats didn't have the gates pushed wide open for thousands and thousands, almost like I think one time 10,000 illegals came in 1 month. Sometimes up to 20,000. The Republicans wouldn't have to ship them to the north, right? So we got to stop making excuses, right?
We
The
do.
gate shouldn't have been open, and that's the point.
That's
And
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 that's.
so and so,
I'm gonna let you land. I'm gonna let you land.
no, I was gonna. No, no problem. I was gonna say, and we also got to stand us. I'm talking about us, Black Americans, as a people, got to understand that the Republicans will send people to ask certain questions because they're trying to figure out our talking points. They actually did an article about us against quote unquote misinformation. Watch out for the ADOs, FBA, and American Indian, right? And so you'll start to see a lot of the shields come in and start acting like they're really interested and they really want to know, but what they're really doing is finding out the talking points, gathering information. So when it's time for voting time, they got all the talking points down points and they're ready to go in full on attack. So we also got to be mindful of the wolves in sheep clothing, right? It could become more like, oh, he cool, but they are being sent. A lot of people are being sent. This
Can I back that up?
COINTELPRO.
Yes, but hold on. Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I don't want to lose
I
my
know.
thought. I'm
Yeah,
so
I got
sorry,
you.
Marshall. But so just recently, as far as last week, the Pan Africans in New York have been having meetings, and this might be nationwide. And they sent a letter invite to Thorough Black Talk Worldview, U.S. Freedmen's Project Divine, and Brooke. And Brooke is the lady who stands up in the reparations hearings and say, if you weren't here in XYZ, everybody loves Brooke, right? And they went to this meeting, and it was held by a Haitian. So they're having meetings about FBA and saying they want to heal the diaspora or understand what's going on in the diaspora and how the FBAs and them could sort of come together. But they said the panel was corrupt. Um, if they didn't show up, the Pan Africans would have just been blaming us for everything, and they got to really give some pushback to that insight. And I do have it on my page, I believe, on my YouTube channel. Well, it wasn't an interview. Keisha does join my panel from time to time, and she gives us history of the Pan Africans and FBA, especially in New York. But that applies to the whole. So
Yes.
the Pan Africans are having meetings about FBA Afro Elite.
Yeah, we're gonna start wrapping things up in a little bit.
No problem.
We're gonna start wrapping things up in a little bit. I want to make sure everybody gets their last couple minutes out, last couple words out on the subject. And this isn't to say, Reggie, because even though we disagree on many things, you are a respectful guest every time you come up. Okay, you are a respectful guest. You want to listen to your panel. If you want to listen, you got to go to For the Culture on YouTube. Okay, go to For the Culture on YouTube. This is where the playback of this live stream, as well as all of the other TikTok lives that we do, is going to be. Now, Reggie, because that we let you come up and we let you have a dialogue. I think this has been an informative dialogue. Now, you know for a fact that we are not Republican. You know that. And we're not MAGA. We're not caping for MAGA, and we're not caping for the Republican. But the problem is that there is a lot of leeway and excuse being given to people from towards the Democratic Party. And the issue is, Reggie, despite your racial category as being a black, and I'm not trying to strip away your blackness from you, but the thing is that you do, and I'm not even going to say you cosplay, because you will at least admit the fact that you're Trinidadian or whatever the case is. So you don't hide that. But the thing is that you coming from a Trinidadian lineage and you coming into here and then you giving your 2 cents on politics and things like that here, you're coming from a disposition of you can't separate yourself from being an immigrant. You can't do that. And that's not your fault. Is not something wrong with you, but that is the reality of the situation. Just as if I went to Trinidad, I couldn't separate myself from being an American. Even if I lived in Trinidad and became a citizen and all that good stuff, I still couldn't separate myself from being a immigrant and seeing myself in this land as an immigrant. Even if you were born and raised here, your family lineage is not from here. So you can't separate yourself from being an immigrant. So there's always this, no matter how cool you guys are, there's always a hook that will keep you guys from coming to a certain level. There's always a certain barrier when it comes to that stuff, which is why we say, you know what, we realize the fact that you guys really can't sever your connection to your nation of origin. This is why we have to move ahead as far as the conversation and politics is concerned, with it strictly being lineage. And because you're out here making excuses and you're caping for a lot of the Democratic Party who've done things that's been detrimental to the black community. A lot of these people, for instance, in Chicago, where a lot of immigrants came in, word on the street is that Brandon Johnson is a Haitian. That's what word on the street is. And he's opened up the floodgates. He's opened the doors, given millions and millions and millions of dollars specifically towards immigrants. All right. So because of the fact that you guys have, and Harris is an immigrant as well, too. Let's be honest. Because of the fact that you guys cannot not see yourself as immigrants, you guys will always put that in some to various degrees, in some priority level of your identity. That's where you guys' agenda is going to be towards. All right. Your agenda is also is always going to include immigrants. It's always going to include what is in the best interest of immigrants. All right. And this is our issue when it came to the Democratic Party, because we have been really since the Obama administration, but really has been highlighted after the Biden administration. We have seen, even Biden has unapologetically said that immigrants take priority. Hispanics take priority. There's been other Democrats that say that it is their time to take priority. And what we've seen is immigrants capitalize off that to the best of their ability. They've capitalized off of the fact that they feel like it's their time to take priority. All right. This is our issue when it comes to the Democratic Party, because you want to talk, and I'm not saying that there's no flaws with the Republican Party, but the Democratic Party is now unapologetically saying that immigrants take priority as far as their party is concerned. All right. When you went in the DNC, when she came to Chicago, she didn't mention Black America once. There was a lot of talk about immigrants, though. There was a lot of talk about that and how immigrants built America and all of that stuff. Let's be honest. So as far as this concerned, and you want to talk about Greg Abbott, and Greg Abbott is not no ally to the black community whatsoever. I'm not saying that, but he wouldn't have even been allowed to send the buses to Chicago, to New York, to Colorado, all of these places. He wouldn't have even been allowed if, first off, the ground wasn't always, it wasn't already ready for them. The groundwork wasn't already ready for buses of immigrants. And then the mayors and the governors of those cities and states didn't welcome them. They welcomed them with open arms. Let's be honest. The Democrats are messed up because their whole core is messed up. It's not because of one or two things. It's the core of the Democratic Party has now, they've always been like that, but now unapologetically saying we got to put immigrants to the forefront. That's because, the truth be told, most of the people running the Democratic Party are immigrants. Most of the people in front of the camera are immigrants. Most of the people behind the scenes are immigrants. And the few people who are not immigrants fall right in line. And that's the problem with the party.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Let me say this right quick. Although he does come in this room and be respectful, at no point in time, ever, in my life, have I ever taken the time out my day to go into another ethnic group space, find them, not just go into, because you got to find our spaces. You got to consistently come back. You got to follow us. So never, ever have I ever gone to another ethnic group space and contributed, told them what I think. Hey, I don't think you guys are, oh, this party isn't for you. That's none of my damn business. You know what I got time for? I got time to worry about Black American business. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm up here and we get up here and we talk about Black American issues or social, we give out social commentary on things that affect our specific group. We don't ever get up here and the topic is Africans are now something. We talked about how the Nigerians, on our podcast, we talked about how the Nigerians are colonizing certain countries in Africa and how that's a whole. We didn't make that a whole segment. We didn't. A part of our podcast that comes out is not going to be Africans are delineating from other Africans. That's not our business. So the fact that you're over here and you feel so strongly enough and you feel so entitled to come into our spaces and say, hey, well, I don't think y'all deserve a hate crime group. The Asians didn't get it because, hey, wasn't Asians. And you know damn well that was a blatant lie. You know, he knew that was a lie. Oh, no, you know what? I looked it up, guys. I must have just seen the rough drafts. Nigga, that was like 2 years ago that shit came out. You know that was a lie. So it's a little frustrating for me to sit here and like, I'm like, we beating around the bush. I thought we knew that he was a troll. People who are really for their people, for the progression of Black people globally, don't do shit like this. I'm not sitting in other people's rooms going, oh yeah, you Africans really need to elect him. Yeah, that guy's really for you. Oh yeah, no, that one's a tether. That's none of my fucking business. Worry about your homeland. Worry about where's he from, the Caribbean. Worry about what the fuck is going to go inside some Caribbean spaces. For you to drop in here and there, okay, cool. That's fine. I scroll past some spaces. I might stop for a second or two if I see some Africans on a panel and they talk about something. I might stop. But do I go into them spaces and say, oh, no, you're wrong. I disagree. Every 5 minutes, this nigga's in the chat with his opinion. That's fine. But let's be honest about it, because people who are for the progression of their group are not in other people's business every fucking day. It's not so. There's no way you can't be a troll with this sort of behavior, regardless of it's respectful or not. You don't do this. You got too many problems in the Caribbean to worry about for you to be over here talking about our politicians, for you to even be worried about Kamala Harris. That ain't none of your damn business. And she not even ours. But her problems affect us the most. It ain't affecting no niggas in the Caribbean. So yeah, anybody, let me just make that clear. Anybody, I don't give a damn who you are. Any non-Black American who's in our spaces consistently with your opinion, and you have this entitled position like your opinion fucking matters, you're automatically discounted in my book. You have no weight. You hold no value. Your voice is you might as well be screaming into a fucking abyss, because that has nothing to do with us. Go talk to your people. Go talk to your homeland. Go worry about them. That ain't got nothing to do with us. And I wanted to touch on delineation, but let me calm down for a second. I gotta catch my breath. But I'm gonna touch back on delineation, this comment, because he said something I want to comment on. But go ahead.
Well, yeah, we still have this, because the thing is that these are the people who will go in other rooms and they will say things in other rooms. So the fact that we're breaking down exactly in real time in front of hundreds of people exactly the arguments and the defense of this is where they can't go into other rooms and they can't pretty much infect with misinformation, because he's been officially and thoroughly debunked in front of hundreds of people. Okay, so much so that Reggie, you've had to concede. Reggie had to concede about the stop Asian hating thing.
Okay.
And that's why I said what I said in regards to the Democrats. The Democrats are sending shields out to kind of find out our token points. I'm with you on that, ZZ. I called that earlier a long time ago. They send their shields, they come in peace, they come like wolf in sheep clothing, or just to find out our token points so they can get ready for the elections coming up. That's really what that's about. Let's be clear. I'm calling a spade a spade.
They observing. They taking notes. He literally just admitted, I was taking notes, and I just wanted to respond to, because that's your job. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You on your job, but you are not to be taken seriously. We're not about to sit there and act like he really came in here and didn't know that Asians wasn't inside a fucking Asian hate crime bill. You didn't think the word Asian was in there? Like, brother, you're lying. Like, you're literally lying. So let me get back to the delineation. He said something that I wanted to comment on too, because I was waiting intentionally for him to speak, because he said something in the comments. He was like, she didn't have to take the job. And that was his point. Like, yeah, she didn't, because she didn't have to take the job. Let's just be real here. Kamala has always found a way to hide behind a white T man. So she hid behind the white T man to get to be VP. And it was all up. She's getting all the benefits. She was fine with the privilege and power that came behind hide behind this white man, this white T man as VP. But then when everything goes to hell, when now the same man that you knew was already halfway out the door spiritually. Let's just keep it a buck. The man's like what, 70 something. He's been pretty like senile for a minute. Let's just be honest about that. So you was quick to take this job because mind you weren't elected. Mind you lost. You didn't get enough votes. You lost. Biden, one of you, he just handed you that position. So you already lost. So you volunteered to go inside this loser position with this losing man who's already senile and old as hell and all the way out the door. And then when things go to hell, you want to turn around and write a book and say, oh, well, it was really him who did it. And the Democrats didn't do this. And I didn't. No, you take that. You got to take the benefits. You got to take the pros and the cons. So you wanted all the pros that came with being behind that white team, man. You got to take all of the cons that come with it too. Because you was right there with him. Just like you want to blame. And it's always this finger pointing thing. Oh, well, the right did this. Oh, well, the left. We all know what's going on. They all know it. That's why the brother said, "Oh well, the immigrants. There was all these illegals in the blue states, but then the red ones. Oh, they wasn't in the red states, but the red ones sent them up to the blue. Like these, it's cyclical. So what I'm saying is, there's no point of trying to act like she's not shifting blame. That's what she's been doing her whole career. She's just been attaching and detaching herself wherever she can get the most benefits from. She's done it with a race. She's done it with politics. She's going to continue to do that. So this woman is very disingenuous. She's unaccountable. Just like the white tea supremacist she wants to be like, but we're not going to shield her or cover her and act like she's not just as guilty as the people that she was working for. She was proud to be that VP, and behind this man, anything that happened under his order is just as much as on her. Just as much you want to blame him, you got to blame her too. You was right behind him. And she would have took that spot. She would have took that presidential spot had he actually got up out of here. She had to take it. So I have no sympathy for her. I know she wants to act like the Democrats try to say, which of course, I'm not going to negate that there wasn't sabotage, because even though she's not necessarily a black face, she's the closest thing to a black face that they was trying to push. And of course, they're going to always allow the black face to take the fall. So I'm not surprised, and I'm not going to deny that there was absolutely sabotage within her campaign and while as the time she spent as a VP. But let's not act like you didn't know what it was. Let's not act like you didn't know what you was getting yourself into. Baby, you didn't work for that position. You know that. So you know what you was getting yourself into. I have no sympathy for that girl. She be happy. She had behind. She wants to reap the benefits of being behind the white tea supremacists without actually admitting to it. And I got no sympathy for that. So yeah, you ain't have to take the job.
TT, what was the bill that you had?
Okay, do y'all know Miss Sheila? I can't pronounce her first name, her middle name, but McCormick. If you put me on the big screen, I can show y'all the bill. I can show y'all a picture of her, and the bill is HR 4586, and the bill is for the help of immigrants to establish business here. It's called the African Diaspora Investment and Development Act, AIDA, and that's to help the immigrants, Africans, Hispanic, Caribbeans, have a nest home here in the United States, bring their businesses here in America as well as in their country. Don't say anything about the American black. They attach us to the descendants of them, and they even in the bill you can see they attach our spending power with their spending power. They said that is 6.6 million immigrants, first generation Africans and Caribbeans, and they funnel like our $4.6 trillion inside of that. So they saying that there are the reasons why some of what they're calculating is a part of our money. So if y'all get a chance to, is the bill is HR 4586, and it was introduced July 22nd, 2025. And so if y'all look at that bill and read it through, this lady is not for us. I don't know why she is in Congress, but her name, I can spell her middle name, but I can't pronounce it. It's Cherfilus. Sheila, that word I just spelled, McCormick. And she
Is she
is in the,
Haitian?
yes, she is.
Thank you. Leo had a live about her the other
Okay, I
night.
think, oh yeah, I showed Leo this, so he probably went, I sent it to Leo, so he probably, I asked him to go live about it for me. So yes, if
Yeah.
y'all read that bill, we don't need her to represent us because she is not speaking for us. So that's all I want to say.
Is she a Democrat, T-Time?
Yes, she is a Democrat.
She is a Democrat.
And that's what, when Mr. Reggie was saying that these people are for us, they're not for us. I don't know where he getting this from.
And I got it right here. This is actually from Leo Live, but this is a picture in the bill. This up right here. So this is HR
That's it right there.
4586, and she's a Haitian American. So what they do, that's why when people say we got the same common enemy, we got to stop saying that, right? Because we don't have the same common enemy, right? I'll be quick. We got to understand that their enemy is escaping poverty and escaping their war-torn countries. That's their enemy. And when they come and see that immigration office, they see the YT and the systems in place to help them out. So they're loving this. That's their liberator, right? The systems in place are their liberator. That's not their common enemy. That's their liberator. And so they're going to always be on call with the systems in place. And their thing is, I'm going to make as much money as possible, even if that means stepping on the backs and the necks of other people. That they're never going to be on call. They don't come here to be on call. When you ask them, they say, I'm here for opportunity, and the take back was taken from me. And 9 out of 10, where are they at? Where they take it back was taken from them at. In the Black American communities. They're not saying that in those YT areas. They're saying that in our communities. I would respect it if they spread out and start going to other areas, but they concentrate in our communities, put themselves in positions of power, and continue to undermine us as a people. They're not here to be allies. They're not here to be friends. They're here to take. We got to call a spade a spade.
Thank you. All right. I was gonna do like a final call out, people get their final words out, but I have things I have to take care of, so I don't have time for that. But this has been a pretty good live, and we will be keeping stuff. Yeah, I know, damn. But yeah, unfortunately. We will be keeping lives and stuff like this up, okay? We will be doing that. We will be doing more lives and all that. So you guys definitely need to tap the screen before you go. We got 60K likes already, so that's good. Tap the screen. You guys need to follow. All right, you guys got to follow me. You got to follow the co-host ZZ. You also got to follow on For the Culture on YouTube. You got to follow For the Culture on YouTube because this is where all of the playbacks of this live and the other lives and all of the other stuff that we do, loaded with good content, loaded with powerful, strong information, all on YouTube, For the Culture on YouTube. And then you can find our own individual YouTube channels and social medias when you go there, okay? Somebody says my cousin Ramon is always talking about you. Shout out to my Ramon, man. That was one of my day one. Shout out to Ramon. That's a good man right there. That's my brother right there. All right. Delineation is go ahead. I'll let you go ahead and
Thanks, brother. There's a couple of things about this 14th Amendment in regards to her book. Her parents were on student visas, so we don't even know if they're legit citizens or not, especially since, what's his name, Clarence Thomas, since we brought him up, he talked about the 14th Amendment and how it's only specifically for us, as in the lineage-based people that are here, that are on the panel and whatnot. So just to hear her keep running with this 14th Amendment argument, trying to get close to us, I'm not feeling it. I'm not buying it. They need to deport her. They need to I actually put her in jail first and then deport her and then charge the people for the crimes and stuff that she had against our community. I'm focused on criminality. So the other thing is this HR bill that they're talking about. I looked at some of it. They don't have any money or anything that's coming back to us because without us, they wouldn't even have the bill in the first place. So where are the residuals? Where are the kickbacks? So this is how we could say that Pan-Africanism is a one-way street, one-way ticket, where they're taking the resources out and they leaving us destitute. Thank you. This is the reason why I said that we need to have this protection bill. Whenever you guys get a chance, make sure you sign it. Get these guys out of the way because they are a public enemy, number one, as well as a threat to national security and threat to our way of life. Salute to you. Thank you for giving me a couple of minutes, and you have a great, great afternoon.
Thank you, brother. You too. You too. You as well. Marshall, you want to add anything before we get out of here?
No, I want to say, as always, great live. I appreciate you. I highly appreciate. I just want to make something real clear, right? It's not that people are against immigrants, right? I want that to be very clear because the people here, the way we talking, oh my God, you guys sound like white. No, no, no. Let's be clear. It's not that people are against immigrants. We are on code with our ancestors, and our ancestors made a way for people to flee their countries and be the best they can be, and we want that for people. The problem is, I say this all the time, the prerequisite for an immigrant to become a United States citizen is to be anti-black American to side with the YT, right? And so we started to realize we have a lot of the immigrant class that put themselves in positions to undermine us. I can't go to Haiti, be there for a few years, and then put myself in a position and say, hey, they don't need reparations from the French. Like, imagine me doing that. I'll be unalive. I can't go to Nigeria and undermine them. I'll be unalive in Nigeria or Ghana or anywhere else if I was to put myself in position and undermine what the native of that land is trying to do, right? And so this is the problem. People got to understand there's four pillars to this quote unquote diaspora war. There's social, which is the disrespect, no culture, custom, traditions. There's political, which we just seen just now, and if tons of other black immigrants that put themselves in position of power to undermine us. There's economics, where you guys come into our community, remove yourself, take our resources, and make communities within our communities, and hire your own family and friends, and don't hire no black Americans. And then there's higher hands, right? When we talked about the billionaire that kind of whistleblowed and said that they specifically hired Africans over black Americans when it comes down to DEI in certain programs. So there's four pillars, and I just named all four of them. It's more than just words, or you walk a little different and you talk a little different and you look a little janky. It's so many different layers and levels, and I think people got to understand that. And I'll land on that. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate you always. Y'all make sure y'all follow, especially the mods here, because the mods are solid. They got their own live streams, they do their own content and all that stuff. So y'all make sure y'all follow Marshall. Also follow For the Culture on YouTube. Like I'm saying, if you guys came in late, from start to finish, this was we was on it. We was on it from start to finish. Okay. If y'all want to listen to the playback, y'all need to follow on For the Culture on YouTube. If you guys want to join the next conversation, y'all need to be following me. Y'all just tap that follow button, and you guys get to follow. Whether you agree or disagree, as long as you respectful or whatever the case is, we'll sit up there and we get this is why this is how the community progress. So we'll get some straightening done. Okay. We've made a lot of progress over the last few months with these live streams. We're going to keep these up, especially with things up and coming. We're definitely going to keep these live streams up. We took a slight little hiatus. You know what I'm saying? We've been kind of not busy with other things. We've been kind of doing other things, you know what I'm saying? But now we back on it. Everything's back a go. We back on top of it like we never left. As a matter of fact, we got a lot better, so y'all make sure you guys follow that so you guys do not miss out on the next one. Z, closing thoughts?
This was an unexpectedly interesting conversation. Good conversation. For sure. Wasn't expecting us to be talking about this. But yeah, Kamala Harris, I don't feel bad for her. Kamala, baby, well, you can wipe them little fake ass tears, girl. We not trying to hear about the nonsense you went through with the Democrats. I'm sorry.
BX, can you close us out?
Sure. A very passionate ZZ, and I like the reminder, right? So I get both sides, Afro and ZZ. I'm gonna leave it there, right? Because we know, they're, no matter what, like I said before, they're not really ever going to be able to see things through our lens, and our lens at this time is what counts, and it will always count. We have the history, the lineage, the work, the sweat, the blood, the tears, the joys, and the pain. And for us to basically either be erased, suppressed, or subjugated by those we tried to help the most, even over ourselves, it should not be tolerated any longer. Should not be tolerated because we're woke now. We're no longer we're shedding party loyalty and we're going policy only. Okay, that's where I land there. So after I gotta ask you, when will you be coming back live on TikTok?
Well, I'm trying to. We got to keep our momentum back. We got to keep our momentum back. So tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah, we definitely gonna be
Yeah, I'm about to say
picking this
tomorrow.
up on Tuesday. We're gonna be back tomorrow. Everybody listening. We got over 100 people in here still alive. You know, we wrapping stuff up. So y'all want to make sure y'all follow so we can pick this up tomorrow. Now, I'm not saying this subject, but we can pick up a live tomorrow.
Okay, no problem. Just message me as to what time, and I'll be speaking to you in your inbox because I want to know about that bill. Also, the information I gave you,
Hmm.
and oh yeah, we had the African American Day Parade. I know we don't like the name, but for now, that's what it is. Beautiful. More Black American heritage flags was up, and if you check my page, I do have some clips of the parade. Uh, Thorough Black Talk Worldview has clips on her page, and I believe Call to All Hearts have clips on her page. So New Yorkers who attended will have clips of that. It was a really joyous time, and even the Pan Africans, for the most part, you know they're always going to be there. We haven't had our presence out there in so many years, but they didn't do too much, and it was enjoyable. It was enjoyable. It was. I have nothing bad to say about the parade at all. We will see more Black American heritage flags, Juneteenth flags, and even the American flag, because we can't forget Grace Wisher. I'll land there.
Thank
Yeah.
you all. Thank you all. You all have a. If you got, I'm also going live on my YouTube channel, Afro Elite on YouTube tonight. Okay. Speaking on this subject and another subject. Okay. Because I got to be very careful because as far as CK, you know what I'm saying? TikTok is being kind of iffy on that. They're taking a lot of people's pages down. They're doing a lot of censorship as far as that individual is concerned, which is why this was the conversation of today. It originally wasn't going to be, but I've seen a lot of people's videos being flagged, taken down, all of that stuff.
Yeah, on TikTok
So,
specifically.
yeah, yeah. So if you want to get my take on this and then how it kind of connects to CK, go to YouTube because I'm going to be on live tonight, and I'm going to be talking about that tonight. All
What
right,
time, Afro? What time?
7 Central.
7
7
Central.
Central.
Okay.
Yes,
I'll
that's
stop
Afro Elite
through.
on YouTube. All right,
Okay.
link is in the